Yeah. Hell yeah.
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 Okay.
We good, Norman? Are we rolling?
Cheers.
We're rolling hot. All right, everybody. Well, welcome to episode 9, right? We said it was 9.
I think so.
I think it's 9.
I think, yeah. I'm supposed to know this. It's 9.
Welcome to an unspecified number of Cool Flower Movies. I'm Adam Flores. Joining with me is my esteemed partners in crime, the Frias brothers, on the same couch for once.
Yo.
So we got Joe and Mike. And we have our first guest. Not counting Norman, who was on, the special deluxe super edition episode, whatever. The holiday special. We have Mr. Cesar Valdez, who was just recently on also an episode of Hooking Up. So say hello, Cesar.
Hello, everybody.
So Cesar is another fellow movie aficionado. Just as much as he knows about gaming, he knows twice as much about movies. So much so that I think one time you and I were bored in my apartment, and we decided that we were going to write down every movie that we've ever seen.
Oh, that was that moment, not that other moment.
Oh, yeah, not the other moment.
Okay.
How many movies did we get through before we were just like, and we got to stop? Like, this is
once
getting
we got
ridiculous.
to like 100, we were just like, okay, let's keep going.
Yeah.
And then I just don't remember anything.
It started off, we were going to write down our favorite movies.
Yeah.
And then at that point, it's like, but then what about, and then what about, so.
Yeah. And then it just kept going and then kept going. And then we were like, okay, well, now we just sound like a bunch of smug
Now we
assholes.
now it's obscene.
Like,
I don't know.
oh, I love the
Never
noir.
I've seen.
So,
Never I've seen.
the movies have always been like a favorite pastime of mine. I'm not like I don't look at I want to say like the elements of it that are like, I guess you could break down in like in an educational sense. Like if you go to film school, like, but sorry, I'm not used to.
He's used to just talking.
Yeah. But I love movies. I love certain things about movies. I love certain directing styles. I like certain genres, mainly a lot of action movies because, that's what I grew up on.
Yep.
And then, but as far as like knowledge, it's just whatever tickles me pink is what I like about movies, So, it's not a...
Yeah. Pink.
Yeah. So... hopefully I keep up with the conversation today.
No, I think you'll do just fine. All right, so we really want to get into this. We got a really cool topic that, we've been sitting on. Sorry for the delay. We were supposed to record last week. Scheduling conflicts. We're all grown up, so we all have shit going on. It happens. We have Norman on the 1s and 2s today in the background, like DJ Spinderella from what, In Living Color?
That's not copyrighted, is it?
No.
Okay.
That's a good cut.
Caesar also has a really good laugh, so hopefully we get to hear his guffaw at some point.
It will.
Okay, so in accordance with the tradition that I have of watching new movies, last week I fell victim to a Netflix trap. Now, when you pull up Netflix and you hover over any movie, a snippet of said movie plays. And I was just scrolling through everything, and I like horror movies, so under it was like thriller section. I was like, okay, and it was a movie called "I'm Thinking of Ending Things." I had never heard of it, never saw it in the theaters, nothing.
Was it a breakup movie?
So I didn't know what it was. So the thing started playing, the snippet started playing, and it seemed like a thriller. Like it seemed really dark and ominous. And I'm like, oh my God, like whatever this is, I like the tone of it. Like it seems creepy. And then I watched it. That is one of the worst fucking movies I've ever seen in my life. Not a thriller, not scary by any stretch of the imagination. Toni Collette is in it. Just a smattering of just maybe 8 actors and actresses total in general. And it is about the movie starts where a girl's like, I'm thinking of ending things with my boyfriend, and she gets in the car,
Nice.
and they're on a road. Well, like, you know,
Good instinct.
I thought the same thing, but I'm like, oh, I'm thinking of anything. So it's going to start with, I'm thinking of anything, and he's going to be like, no, you're not leaving me, kind of thing, and, you know, try to kill her.
Yeah.
Which is good enough. You know, there's a whole fucking movie right there.
So far, so Chicago.
Right.
But
this is like, as she's thinking things in the car ride to his parents' house in like a farmland, like 2 hours away, it seems as though he can read her mind. Okay. And I'm like, okay, you know, I'm still on board. Then they get to the parents' house and they're aging up and down all over the place, like the parents are, which I'm like, okay, I'm still with this. It's getting weird.
Mm-hmm.
So like what, in one scene they're young and then the next
in one scene they
old?
look like they're about like, you know, mid-50s, and then the next scene like they look like geriatric, and then the scene after that, like the mom's in a hospital bed.
Wow.
In the same spot, and you're like, what's happening here?
Interesting.
Yeah, it's going up and down. But
was it like a non-linear thing?
No, everything's happening within the same frame of context.
Okay.
Wow.
It's all happening in the same evening.
Yeah.
Okay.
But meanwhile, there's like a snowstorm going on. She's like, I need to get back, you know, and over she keeps thinking, I need to end things. I'm thinking of ending things. But, you know, people aren't talking in the manner in which people talk. Like, it's really weird. Nobody's making much sense. The movie's kind of all over the place. And then he's like, all right, fine, let's go. So they go to leave, and they stop at this slushy place to get drinks. And the girls there are acting really weird that work there. And that was a snippet that I had seen earlier. I was like, where's this in the entire fucking movie? It's none of this shit. It's really silly. Like, not in like a funny way. Like it felt very like art house film. So then he's like, I got to stop at this school really quick. No explanation, no nothing. He goes into school. She goes in to follow him because she locked herself out in the snowstorm. So she runs in. She's like, where are you? I miss you. And there's like an old janitor there. Then the janitor is supposed to be the boyfriend this whole time throughout the entire movie. And they see each other. And then there's a whole ballet dance sequence between what's supposed to represent the girl and what's supposed to represent the boyfriend. And you're like, and then the movie ends. That's it. I'm like, what? What happened? What did I just watch?
But it's the dance of love.
And then I'm like, who
Ending.
directed this fucking piece
Or
of shit?
open to your interpretation.
And it was the same director from Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. And I'm like,
there
there
it
it
is.
is.
Well, I don't know. Kind of like the Spotless Eternal Sunshine.
Whatever.
It worked for that movie.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I think this is just, you know, a case of a guy just like, I have to make weird movies kind of thing. And it backfired on him.
Yeah.
It sounds like there was no rhyme or reason to the way it was.
No, not at all.
It was just like weird, artsy
Yeah. It felt like
trope just for the sake of putting it
Yeah.
into an artsy
Don't get me
movie.
wrong. Everyone acted really well in the movie. And, you know, everyone did a really good performance. But to me, there was no story. Like, nothing's happening here. Damn. And it was just weird. Like, it was weird shit for the sake of weird shit. It was.
Did you feel like one of the first things you're going to say to yourself at the end was, never getting these 2 hours back? Yeah.
Like, the movie finished, I'm like, what a piece of shit. And I went on like IMDb to like look at like reviews and and just stuff that people were saying about it. And like some people were like, it's worth seeing. And it's like, it isn't though. Don't worry about it.
Bro, I got to tell you, I watched that Netflix intro and I was like, yeah.
Tell me that didn't look cooler than
I'm
what I described.
mega glad you kind of warned me.
I told him, I'm like, watch this snippet and tell me I'm not fucking crazy that doesn't look like
It
a
was
thriller.
awesome. It's awesome. You know what? As a matter of fact, everybody go watch the intro.
Yeah, go watch
The Netflix
go on
intro.
Netflix and just it's a Netflix movie, so go on Netflix and
Just
watch the snippet of
Just
that.
roll the pointer over
No,
it.
no.
and that's it.
Watch that part and tell me you wouldn't be like, man, there's got to be something better and more to this
Yeah,
movie. So.
that's a really good marketing team.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Because that's how they sell everything now. Because that's how I got duped with Thor: Love and Thunder. It was like, most of the duping that happens is from like trailers. That's why like now I try to avoid them.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
But I think Netflix is really notorious for that. Because
Well, Netflix puts out so much too.
yeah, but and it's all the same. You know, like Confidential or I don't know. Like there's a whole bunch of movies that I've seen that like they're okay. they're just barely making it. You
Yeah.
know, and I'm like, you know what? I don't think I can invest any more
Yeah,
time in that.
they're getting more into quantity over quality
Yeah.
at Netflix, I feel like.
Sounds like our day job.
Yeah, no shit. All right, so then
Whoops.
the second
I didn't
movie
mean
I
to slide
saw,
that in there.
I just saw, what was it, 2 days ago, was Everything Everywhere All at Once,
Oh,
Yeah, okay.
wondered about that.
which,
Who's the main female? I always forget her name.
Michelle Yao.
Michelle Yeoh,
Yes,
yeah.
thank
Yo.
And
Yo.
Ki Huai Huan is in it, who's Short Round from Indiana Jones. I'm like, what? Like, it's just he's coming back. Like, he's been in 2 movies recently because he's also in The Whale now, right? Is he in that as well? I don't know if he's in that one.
Yeah.
But he's gonna be that. He's gonna be in the new Indiana Jones that's coming out. So I'm happy for him. Like,
Yeah.
for a guy who was out of the limelight for 20 plus years, like, they finally brought him back. But the movie itself is insane. That movie is like, okay, in terms of contrast between those two, right? The first movie was weird for the sake of being weird. This movie's weird, but within the context of being explained why it's weird in the film. And I think that's what makes it
Yeah.
really, really interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also very over the top, very artsy.
Mhm.
But
But it makes sense, like in
Right.
the story that they're trying to tell.
right, and it makes fun of itself. Like there's an alternate dimension where everyone has hot dog fingers. So like they're just like flopping around all the time and stuff, and it's made to be silly for the sake of being silly. And to me, after watching it, I was like, this is as far as they should have gotten in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
That's
Yeah.
good. That's good.
Because it's like everything was. I feel like they played it too safe for the multiverse. Like,
Yeah.
get weird. It's a multiverse. Like in Everything Everywhere All at Once. There's an alternate universe where you're just a rock. You don't move. That's your existence. And it's little shit like that. Is it a silly movie? 100%. But it knows that it's silly, and it's okay that it's silly, and it's a fun movie. But at the end, there is a heartfelt message, and it kind of ended up feeling kind of like Click to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Click was one of those, like, this movie had no business making me almost want to fucking get emotional about my dad and, life and death and stuff. I'm like, it's fucking Adam Sandler, and he's got a remote control, and I'm getting sad.
Yep.
This is bullshit.
Sounds very meta.
Right, but it's
movie.
it's a
No,
testament
I
to
mean
good
the movie.
writing.
I meant the movie.
Yeah.
The movie. Oh.
And
What-
then, let's see, what was the last movie I saw? I saw a
Bad
movie
timing.
yesterday. No, it was good. The last movie I saw yesterday for the first time was In the Tall Grass, which is based on a Stephen King novella. And I believe his son helped write it as well.
Oh, nice.
I forgot what his name was, like James Hill or something like that.
And
He
that's
has a
another
suit.
Netflix movie, right?
Right. And I thought I had seen that one, but there's another one with Thomas Jane that has a real similar title to it. Either way,
Yeah.
it's not a bad movie. It's another one of those, like, what I do give it is it starts right off the bat, like this brother and sister pull up to this grass field. The grass is like taller than me, and they hear a boy crying out from within the grass. What do? Walk into the field. And then, they separate, and now they can't find each other. And she's like, all right, jump in the air so I can see you. And we'll jump at the same time. So they jump, and they're like, like from here to like the wall. And then she's like, all right, jump again just so I could get another clear picture. She jumps, and he's like 50 yards away.
What?
Yeah. So like within the field,
Okay.
weird shit's happening.
That's awesome.
So there's like lapses in time within.
Yeah.
It's
Another Stephen King.
yeah. It's not a great movie by any stretch of the imagination. It's got a couple jump scares, nothing too like, whoa.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh,
Yep.
okay, that was. Patrick Wilson is phenomenal in it. I like Patrick
Yeah.
Wilson a lot.
Yeah.
Explain to me.
Conjuring,
Okay. Thank you.
Inception,
I'm one of those. I'm terrible with names.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not good with.
Adam. Mike, go.
Yeah,
Norman.
this is the struggle that we go through where I'm not a good. Sometimes I don't remember a lot of actors' names or actresses like he does. But if you name a movie, I'm like, okay, I know it's.
Yeah.
Yeah, now
Yep.
I know who that is.
I had to do the same thing for my wife. She's like, Patrick Wilson. I'm like, you seen him in like 1,000 fucking things. What are you talking about? And then once I said, oh,
So the Asian guy from The Conjuring, is that what you're talking about?
no,
Oh,
microphone. Yeah, an Asian guy named Patrick Wilson.
yeah.
it's his U.S. name.
So
Wait, Patrick Wilson
Those are
was
my
in
three.
Inception?
not Inception, Insidious. I'm sorry,
Insidious, yeah, okay, yeah.
Insidious is such a good fucking movie.
Yeah, man.
It is.
I love
It's
that.
great.
fucking
I can revisit that.
movie.
Uh-oh.
So
We have
so-
an Insidious story. Because we went and saw it in the theaters, right? Yeah. So
This doesn't have anything to do with Panama, does it? Okay, no,
No.
sorry.
it was like a bunch of, it was me, him, your brother, Frankie,
yeah.
who else? Rodney.
No, I don't think it was that many people. I thought it was just you, me. I thought it was just you and me.
No, there was a few of us. There was like maybe like 4 or 5 of us that went.
I don't know. Talking
But
to
we
the
were,
microphone.
we went and saw Insidious, and the horror genre is like one of those.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
I like, right? And,
Yep.
and like I hate.
Uh-oh.
There's like certain elements of
no.
horror movies that I really enjoy. There's rules, right? There's rules. You watch them.
He's like Randy from Scream.
Okay.
Yeah, like there's like certain and then when you watch horror movies that break the rules, you appreciate it. You're like, okay, good.
Yeah.
Yes.
You got
Yep.
me, you
Yes.
motherfucker, right?
Yep.
Yes.
This was not one of those instances because we were sitting there and it was that scene. It had like the jump scares and all that, and the fucking that weird instrument that they had playing in the background for the movie, and then it was the day scene when they moved to another house, and then spoiler, she's like
Throwing out the garbage.
she's like cleaning the house and the windows open. It's broad daylight,
Yeah.
and then the fucking kid, runs across. Like all of us started yelling at the TV at the movie screen. We're like, no, that's against the rules. Not during the day. I was.
Yes.
We were not screaming. He was screaming.
I was very.
I was
upset.
laughing my ass off.
I was upset because I was like, that's rule number 24. Not during the day.
Oh yeah, when the kid's like
Yeah.
dancing to Tiny Tim's Tiptoe Through the Tulips.
Yeah.
He's like, no.
No.
This isn't how this is supposed to go. And I'm like, I'm sold with this fucking movie. You just scared up some big
Yeah.
motherfucker into being freaked out.
Yeah, that was like one of those moments where I was just
Right.
like, okay,
But that was like Hereditary. Like you came to my house to watch Hereditary, and we got like 20
Totally.
minutes in. You're like, I gotta go home. I'm not gonna watch this.
No
And you
shit.
left.
No.
but I finished watching it.
Yeah,
though.
you finished watching it, but not that night.
No, because I was.
Are you
just like-
serious? You left?
Yeah.
Oh man, dude, that
Well, I
movie.
mean, I
hey,
think it was because I was like half asleep.
Well,
too.
it was you and Dave. We were just like, let me just put this movie on, and it got like 20 minutes in, and both at the same time, both of you were like, I'm out. Like, well, Dave never finished it. Dave was like, I will never finish that movie for the rest of my life.
Damn.
Like he doesn't do well with scary stuff
Yeah.
at all. And
No, I finished it. I loved it. I thought it was.
I love that fucking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was, I
that's-
thought it
It's
was-
great. That's a great
it's a great movie.
fucking movie.
Yeah, the whole pagan ritualist satanic like undertones in it, which was awesome to me.
Yeah.
I tried to let you borrow that, right? Was that one of the ones I tried to let you borrow? Hereditary.
It's another Colette.
Yeah, please watch that.
Yeah, but watch it with an open mind. Yeah, that was the whole
No, yeah.
undertones of
Yeah.
Paganism.
yeah,
and-
the satanic shit and like body possession and shit like that. I was just like, oh man, that was smart. Like that was like a long con that happened, and then it's like I appreciated that it was like drawn out. It wasn't like fucking jump scare after jump scare.
No, it was a very subtle,
right,
like
And
It was a subtle build.
horror.
right,
Yeah.
and then
It was
because like whether you believe it or not,
Right.
or believe in that or not, like it's not something that just happens and it's like fucking like wind comes out of nowhere and fucking
Yeah.
it's
Yep.
a slow process.
Well,
and
Yep.
then-
Yeah, like The Exorcist, the movie's about more than just the scare itself. Like The Exorcist is a mother's care for her daughter and the lengths she would go to help her daughter. And this movie is just a family devolving in front of you. And most of the issues that happen have nothing to do with the scary shit that's going on. It's just
No.
internal issues within the family.
Yeah.
which were this family was cultivated to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which was the fucking kicker at the end. You're like, what the fuck?
I know. I'm glad you saw it to the end, because the end really justifies the means
Oh, yeah.
in that movie.
Yeah,
And it's a
absolutely.
really
And-
like a subtle ending too. There's
Right,
like
right.
it ends very cliffhangery too, but it's satisfying at the same
Yep.
time too.
Yeah,
which I was just like, huh?
That's it.
It closed it really well, huh? I was
Yeah.
like, yeah. There's like
You get the answers,
Yeah.
right,
and
correct.
they also lead you down a path where you can kind of figure it out.
Mhm.
But
It
there's
makes you
still
want,
room.
yeah. There's rewatchability for it. Like,
Yes.
you want to
Yes.
revisit, and you want to
Yes.
know more. And you know, like, there's never going to be a Hereditary 2. And there shouldn't be.
No.
No.
There really should never be. But it makes you want to be like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
And then
Right.
you can go back and
Yes.
question things yourself.
Yep.
Right, and then when you watch it again, then you start noticing other subtle shit that you didn't notice the first time around because you're so like involved in like the actual story.
Yeah.
And then you're like, holy fuck, they fucking there was this like subtle, person in the background that I didn't even notice in the first time I saw the first 3 times I saw it. But after like watching it for the 4th time, you're like, oh, I should have seen it coming.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
that's
That's up there.
yeah, that is up there.
That's in my top 5 favorite horror movies, probably. All right.
Really?
So,
Top 5?
yeah, what have you seen lately?
Uh,
If anything.
No, yeah. So talking about jump scares, I went and saw that Smile. And speaking of breaking the rules, you guys seen it?
No.
I've seen it.
It's on the list.
Okay, so the daytime stuff, yeah, totally broke the rules with that one.
Okay.
I like it. I like it a lot. I know you didn't like it.
Jump
I
scare
really- yeah.
after jump scare after jump scare.
Yeah, it's
And-
just jump scares in that movie.
But I mean, it's also it's also Kevin Bacon's daughter, Sosie. Did I say that right? Sosie Bacon. Yes, I did.
Saucy bacon?
Saucy
bacon.
Sosie. So she was not good in it. No.
Damn.
I liked it.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to set it up that way.
No.
Sorry, not sorry.
No. That's
But
But I mean, here we go. Like, it's
couldn't.
one movie that we've seen, and we both came away with totally different points of view. That's the beauty of film.
yeah, and jump scares are fun, especially when you're watching it with your significant other, and you're adding
yeah.
a little more pizzazz. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
We'll leave that for another episode.
that's when you jump scare her with consent.
Without my pants. No, but yeah, so I didn't like that. So I also saw, changing gears here, literally, Ford versus Ferrari. Saw that for the first time.
damn.
Yeah,
With Christian Bale?
yeah, Christian Bale and
Maddie Damon.
I'm Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
Just for anybody who hasn't seen it yet, I mean, I don't want to disappoint anybody. So I just want to make sure everybody knows Matt Damon cries in Ford versus Ferrari. So there's that.
He fucking cries in every movie,
And
right?
everything.
It's a great movie. If
Yeah.
you like, not only if you like cars, but if you like the drama of the human condition when push comes to shove, it's awesome.
Damn.
I mean, it's great.
Yeah.
It's great. When a guy can not only build the car because he knows exactly what its tolerances is just by driving it on the track a few times, but also race it professionally. I mean that's just kind of my thing. But it was awesome.
Are you a
That was
car
me. Yes,
aficionado?
yes,
Okay.
I love cars. That I mean, if I usually don't say if I have a hobby or not, but if I pretty much do, because see, like you, I movies, love them, cars, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
love 'em.
Cars do nothing. My brother loves cars. Cars do nothing to me. Like, it's like, hey, I got from here to there. That's all I'm worried about.
But
that's me.
But you're doing it right though.
Right?
Doing it right. You got the right car. So no, you do. I'm being serious because that's the right car. I mean, it won't die.
No. That car is gonna outlive me. Toyota Corolla, like a true Puerto Rican.
Hell yeah.
No, I mean, all jokes aside, that thing's not gonna die.
No,
I mean, it's not gonna die.
no, I love that car.
So yeah. All right. Well, yeah, saw that, and then saw the Freddie Mercury movie, Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh, how was that shit?
I love that movie.
Thoughts?
It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I kind of grew up listening to Queen, so
Yeah.
very well acted.
And then
my
Malik,
God,
what's his
Rami
name?
Rami Malek is
He's good.
He's superb.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's a superb actor. You guys remember him from Band of Brothers?
Yeah.
It's Band of Brothers, right? Not Saving Private Ryan.
No, it's Band of
It's
Brothers.
Band of Brothers.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think- yeah,
He's
you're
definitely
right.
not.
Yeah,
No, it's
he.
not the Pacific.
Oh, you know what? It is the Pacific. I'm mistaken. It was the Pacific. Yeah,
I
he
couldn't
was in
remember.
that one. 2010 Pacific. He was in that. He was in a USA show, Mr. Robot. He was a hacker. Also a good show.
Correct.
Yeah.
Rami Malek he's not only up and coming. He's A-lister all the way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, easily A-list.
He's the new Bond villain, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yes,
He was,
absolutely.
yes, in the new
Yep.
one. Yes.
Yep.
It's probably the best part in that movie. That piece of shit movie.
Yep.
I don't like James Bond.
Oh,
Then you should watch No
Ian-
Time to Die because you'll love that movie.
you'll love to
because
hate it.
they destroy the shit out of it.
Oh, hey, time out there, Sparky.
Sorry. Sorry.
Jeez.
I get a little.
I agree.
They matrixed it.
I
They
agree.
red pilled it.
I agree with you.
Thank
Oh
you.
my God! Now
Yeah.
sold.
You haven't
I want
you
to.
haven't
I want to
seen
lose. No, I want to lose 2 hours of my life.
It's a good drinking movie.
So I should get fucked up before I watch
like,
it or
when
during
there's,
it.
Like
during
something
it.
that doesn't make any sense, then you just take a shot and then.
Can we
we'll see
watch?
how
Can we do
far-
this?
Dude,
Can we do this?
Yeah.
Can we do
That
this
should
like
be
sometime
that
next
should be
week?
like a patron episode.
Bro, I have some time off next week. Can we seriously make this happen?
Yeah, we'll do it.
Can we film
Yeah.
it? That sounded
Sorry,
crazy.
Dad. We're going off the rails.
Yeah,
here.
you got to talk to the cinematographer over there. He's
Yeah, there's a lot of subtle things where you're just like,
Yeah,
really?
Yeah, dude.
What does this have to do with?
yeah. Like
I mean, come on. In Casino Royale, he has a defibrillator in his car.
Come on, just show me the cool.
At
Bond
that point,
shit.
why not just hook something up to the battery and use that as a defibrillator? Like, John McClane, to me, is better than James Bond. I said it.
The modern James Bond is kind of cartoonish. Yeah, I'll give you that definitely. But old Ian Fleming James Bond is kind of the shit, especially of its era.
yeah.
in its era, yes, because I mean, which you said Ian Fleming,
Yeah.
yeah, and then but then the Sean Connery,
Right.
like all those, like it's not.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for saying Sean Connery without doing the accent. Like, it's just,
Suck it, Trebek.
that's one of those things. Like, it's almost impossible to not. That's like somebody saying, like, "Hey, say a line from Scarface, but don't do the face." Hey, you fucking cockroach! Like, you,
Boy,
can't-
you
like,
you look like a lizard.
yeah, it's hard to do without the face.
Wait,
I didn't make-
you,
I didn't make
you,
it- did I make
wait,
a
wait,
face?
wait, hold on. You too, Frank. I can't do it. You too, Frank.
Like your whole body.
Hold him back.
Or trying to do any Robert De Niro voice without, like it has to happen. So anyway, I'm sorry, I digress.
No, that's me.
Damn.
Three movies in a nutshell. I saw the menu. I don't know. We didn't talk about that
Yeah.
last time.
Yeah, we
I think we talked a little
Yeah, I
bit.
talked a little bit about it.
Yeah.
I didn't care for it, but
I kind of liked it. Kind of liked it. And then watched The Witch right afterward.
oh, the witch is so
Because,
fucking good.
Yeah, The
Yeah.
Witch.
Was that your
Yep.
first time watching it?
It wasn't, but I didn't watch it all the way through the first time for some odd reason, and it was a long time ago. It had to be when it first came out.
That
so
movie's that's
Yeah.
another one he and I
Yeah.
saw.
It's
bro,
good.
bro, great.
Nobody in
No,
the
yeah,
theater
we saw it
gave
in the
a fuck
theater.
about
Oh.
that movie
We went and saw it at Ford City too.
Oh my
Hell
god,
yeah.
on purpose. But
you
like
guys
there,
are old school, man.
there were like 4 people there.
Yeah, but nobody's there to watch that movie, you know?
Somebody was snoring throughout that movie.
And this guy,
Quite unfortunate.
Yes.
yeah, it was you. He made a very audible noise that woke the dude up. Well, I'll tell you what the noise was later.
Yeah.
Nice.
It has to be off air.
Yeah,
Oh,
but that shit was. But like he and I were just like, this movie's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that movie.
It was
I
good.
love that movie.
Yeah. Black Phillip, man. He's a real
Black
star.
Phillip.
That's why I got that T-shirt.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
The fucking Looney Tunes Black Phillip. That's
Oh, it says
Yeah.
"Live deliciously" on the bottom.
that's funny.
I fucking love it.
That's funny.
That's great. Yeah, so that's me movies in a nutshell.
Good. That's a very wide array. Mine is like very centric to thriller/horror, and you're just like, I watch this and I watch that, and it's like a spectrum.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Hey, when you assign me an assignment, I do it. You know,
It's fun to do. It's fun to
very-
watch
it's
stuff
very
that you've
fun.
never seen. It's
absolutely.
hard,
Yeah.
and even watching stuff without recommendations, it's so fucking hard to get into that.
Yep.
But anyway, have you seen anything, Mr. Frias the second?
Nah, not really. I made a second attempt to watch Upgrade, which is great movie. Came out like a couple of years ago. It came out in tandem with Venom, so it was always compared to that movie. 'Cause they're basically the same thing, except that like Venom's with the symbiote, and then Upgrade's with the AI chip. I didn't make it through, not because it was a boring movie or anything, but I always put that movie on as a background, and I'm always like, oh man, this is so good, and I never like pay attention. But every rewatch, I pay a little more attention. One of these days, I'm gonna watch it from beginning to end. Yeah, just that, and then a couple rewatches for today, but mostly just catching up on shows.
Okay.
Catching up with Servant and Last of Us.
The Last of Us.
And which is a topic on yeah, and that's it. That's
Dude.
about it.
Yeah, we had a whole
Yeah,
like
we had
he
a-
literally called. He's like, "Have you seen The Last of Us?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Call me." So we had a whole conversation. But
They're playing out the episodes week after week, right? Because
Yeah.
it just came out. They were out on episode 3.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm gonna wait because I can't do this waiting game.
That's okay.
I mean this waiting weekly. I can't.
Yeah.
you
I'm-
can't go back to that when you were like
Nope.
a young kid
right,
watching the Power Rangers
I'm
every
playing
Saturday.
the game.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm playing the game in tandem with the show. So like once that part of the episode is kind of done, I stop playing that far in the game.
shit.
So
What? Oh,
So I'm
that's
playing it.
badass.
Same
Damn,
time.
that's interesting.
I'm-
Is that
I'm-
it's hard.
yeah.
I'm playing Last of Us 2
Okay.
just because I want to know what's going to happen because I want to spot the differences
Yeah.
when the season comes
And
out.
see how close
Yeah.
they keep it.
Sorry, sir.
No,
Disculpa.
You're not blocking or anything. I just want to fuck with you.
Извините, мой друг.
But I am also watching
Ruski.
somebody play Last of Us on YouTube
Ooh.
to refresh the series.
Yeah. Yep.
And I hate to admit it, but it makes me angrier noticing the differences between the game. and
I was
Mm.
I was gonna say like how's your experience like playing them like playing it and then watching it and then noticing the power gap.
Maybe because I've tried to write a movie before, and understanding like every episode has to have a beginning, middle, end,
Yeah.
and trying to fit that in while also continuing that kind of story.
Yep.
To me, it's like, listen, if you want to change it up, fine.
Yeah.
As long as you're staying true to who the characters are, that's all
Yes.
I'm worried about.
Yeah. Yep.
Everything else is kind of secondary to me. Like, that's what pissed me off about the movie Wanted, right? Like, Wanted
Oh, okay.
was
They
based.
deviated
Right.
pretty far.
The comic book is insane.
Yeah.
The comic book is this guy's dad is the greatest super villain, like one of the deadliest super villains ever, and the bad guys won. They've taken over everything, and they're all bad guys. They're all literal like villains.
Yeah.
And then the movie comes out, and you're like, we're a league of assassins trying to create order. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
No.
There's no superpowers, no bad guys. There's a bizarro version of Bizarro named Fuckwit. And it's like, you guys didn't put any of this shit in the fucking movie? Like, just curving bullets? None of that is in the comic book. I'm like, it's tethered by name only. And
Yeah.
to me, anything better than that, like that's the benchmark for garbage
Yeah.
adaptation.
It's lawnmower man syndrome.
We were just talking about Lawnmower Man. That's
Yeah.
fucking crazy.
We were just
Job.
Jesus.
What
And
the
then-
fuck are the odds of that?
Oh, I don't
Nobody's
know.
brought up Lawnmower Man since 1992.
Yeah,
and it's
we
been
were
brought
just-
up twice in a day.
Yeah, hive mind. That's
I had a
chalk it up.
conversation with somebody else about lawnmower.
Get the
what?
fuck out
Are
of
you
here.
what? Are you serious?
When?
2 days ago.
Yo, shit. So now
I
we
called
gotta-
a friend of mine the modern day lawnmower.
You're fucking
man.
lying.
I'm serious. I called him a lawnmower man because he's always on Twitter.
You're bull-
And
you're
I'm like,
full of
oh,
shit.
bro, you're just fucking in it. Now you're like, well, you're fucking turn evil because you're fucking. You're in it too much. You know?
It's like the Sledgehammer music video. Like, what the fuck is happening with this movie?
Wow.
But the phone ring in the end like ties it up all together. It was
Yeah.
a really good,
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna have to go back now.
yeah.
And by the way, none of us mentioned Lawnmower 2. So
Yeah, Lawnmower Man 2 is.
no, we don't. No, we're not even gonna say it.
Okay.
I didn't even know they made it.
It's like Caddyshack 2. Like, it's
Yeah.
Damn.
All
All
right.
right. Yeah. So that's all I got.
All right, Caesar, have you seen anything?
Yes. When you guys first started, I didn't remember anything because I have
You have the hair, but not the memory, so that's fine.
it's like
It's a trade-off. I have no hair and all
my
the memory.
RAM
Dude,
is
I
not
would
as
give
great
up-
as it was.
I would give up my
Very-
memory for hair.
very-
It's like fuck this. I don't.
I know.
Listen,
I have
it's
to
a-
wear a hat all the time.
It's a
now,
blessing
so.
and a curse. So just so you guys know. So
Hmm.
so recently tried to watch the new Elvis movie because I
Wow.
like music bioepics.
Biopics?
Yeah, biopics.
Hmm.
Biopics.
Couldn't get through the
Biopics.
first like 30 minutes of
Damn.
it.
Really, I liked
Yeah,
it.
I just didn't like I didn't really like the style that it was made or that it was filmed. I just didn't.
Bars Lerman.
Yeah,
he's
that
a weird-
whole,
he's a
like,
really weird director.
Moulin
Great Gatsby.
Rouge kind of, yeah,
Yeah.
like I just couldn't
Pretty,
look past
flashy.
it. Right. For a music artist as big as Elvis, as influential, right? And then
Okay.
I just was expecting something else, so I just was like, I can't do it. Like the only other movie that I've actually stopped watching and actually just had to walk out of was Step Up,
Oh,
Which one?
the first one.
You're,
with Channing
you're hurting
Tatum.
him. I bet you love the Step Up movies, don't you? Yes.
So for me to stop,
He's a fucking liar. He loves it. He dances in the rain and just stomps in a puddle.
yep. Oh, audience, I wish you could have seen
Oh
that.
man, that was a great
Yes.
pirouette.
That's
Yeah, Elvis. I just couldn't do it. I mean, I just, I don't know. There was just the whole feel to the movie. I was like, nah, I can't. I don't want to sit through this. I'm like, I'd rather just not even watch it.
You know what's kind
Wow.
of funny is that I didn't Elvis as a character make an appearance in Walk the Line with Joaquin Phoenix. Joaquin-
I've never seen that.
I think so.
Joaquin
I think
Phoenix
it's
did
not-
Walk the Line, and I
maybe-
think there was a part where Elvis was on stage with.
maybe I wouldn't be. I think so. I think you're right. Yeah, because that was when Johnny Cash was still with his original band.
Right, he was
and
still with the
then-
original band. He was
Right.
still on his
Yeah,
way
you're
up.
right. And then
So the reason I bring that up is because you say a movie about Elvis. I've heard it, but I'm thinking more. It would be sort of like Walk the Line
that's what I was
of
expecting.
the era.
Yeah.
It would have been more
Yeah.
of the era, but it sounds like it's more. You said Moulin
It was like a
Rouge.
big spectacle.
Yeah,
it's really over the top.
That's
Yeah.
really not. That's not a good depiction of Elvis.
It
in
could have
my
been La
opinion.
Bamba without Bob. Everybody here knows that fucking reference.
Richie.
That Richie line is the, that Richie at the end makes the whole movie worth it though.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so-
Yeah, I just like all in all, I couldn't get through it, and then
I'm sorry.
no, you're good.
I-
Okay,
what-
okay.
and
it's a
then
Bobless La Bamba.
Audience, we're not going Bobless, just so you know.
damn, I lost
sorry.
my train of thought.
Yeah.
Fuck. Son of a bitch.
It's because you've gone Bobless.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
All right. I have a tendency to rewatch movies that I've seen over and over.
Oh, absolutely.
Just because I just want to kill time or
Yep.
whatever.
Yeah.
So it started off with Rocky 4.
Oh,
Or I'm sorry, Rocky 3.
Yes.
Because I caught the tail end of
Clubber.
Rocky 3
Oh,
when
no.
he
Clubber
when
Lang.
he beat Clubber Lang.
We were just talking
So-
about that too.
But
today,
but that like led into Rocky 4. But what it ultimately led into was me watching the Apollo movies because I've never seen any of the Apollo
they're.
movies.
I think they're badass.
Yeah.
I think you haven't.
No, I have not seen
I
it.
have-
And I'm hyped for the third one, man,
Bruh.
actually. Yeah.
I didn't get the same like motivation when I watched the original Rockies because I'm older now, so it's different.
yeah.
Right.
But I thought they were good. I don't.
Yeah.
They weren't bad. They weren't great. It was just good entertainment.
It's an origin story, and
Right.
how it's
And then how they like brought it, how they like brought it full circle of like who he was and how he was,
Yeah.
and he's,
it's like an origin story.
But then
uh,
I killed it with another movie after I watched the Apollo that just kind of ruined it for me, which was Southpaw with Jake Gyllenhaal, which was
Not good.
gaga
Damn.
straight. It
Wow.
was not. I was not a fan of that movie. It was Jake Gyllenhaal being Jake Gyllenhaal pretending to be a boxer.
after doing the wonderful role in
Ambulance.
Break.
Oh no, never mind.
They weren't right after another, but he had already. He's
Oh,
got to make.
Nightcrawler. Are you referring to Nightcrawler?
No.
Nightcrawler was good.
I'm just saying, actors have the. They have the momentum to do the movies that they want after they check the
Right.
boxes off, and I
Right.
think he checked his box off when he did.
I see.
Brokeback Mountain.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of
Fair
actors
enough.
have
But I mean,
done. Have,
he did the cop one after Brokeback.
oh
Mountain, too,
yeah. But that's what I'm saying.
Prisoners.
Now
now he gets
he's-
the movies that he wants. Yeah.
Well, now he's reestablishing his image, so to speak. Maybe, I don't know.
I thought he was good as Mysterio.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was good, but I
He-
mean
he
that
did a-
movie as a boxing movie,
Correct.
like because boxing movies are fighting movies in general are just a different. That's like
Yes,
its own
it's
genre,
its own
right?
genre.
It's
It
not
is.
an
It is.
action
Yep.
movie. It's not a sports movie. Fighting movies are fighting movies.
Do you know what's actually, I think, an underrated fighting movie that you don't hear many people talk about is Annapolis. With,
What?
Oh,
with James Franco and Tyrese Gibson.
Yeah.
That's one of those I'm like, you know what? This is a pretty visceral movie, and you don't get to see that side of,
I never would have thought. Now that you're saying it, now I might have to go back and check that out. Honestly,
I mean, I haven't seen it since it was new.
I think you should. There's other better fighting
Oh,
movies that
yeah,
you could watch,
absolutely.
but yeah, Annapolis is to me that there was that filler 2000s area where you're just putting Tyrese and who's the other guy?
in a white uniform.
Yeah, and who's the guy he fight? Lou fucking who's he?
Oh,
James Franco.
Oh, James
Franco.
Yeah, you just had to put him together in a movie to make a movie. Like it's not even like.
like Lou Diamond
Yeah, I
Phillips.
don't know. I for some reason I thought Lou Ferrigno.
What? Lou Diamond Phillips was in that?
No,
Oh, okay. Oh, I was like,
yeah,
damn.
Lou Ferrigno. Was anybody like a peanut?
Anybody want a peanut?
That's Andre the Giant. Although I met Lou Ferrigno, really nice guy.
And then I think that was it. Oh, and The Northman. The Northman was another one that I just recently watched.
Yeah.
But I'm a big into Norse mythology, Viking era.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
So some people like Japanese stuff. I like
Yeah.
old
Yep.
Germanic Viking
Hardcore.
stuff. So
Hardcore.
I thought. I mean, I like visually it was an awesome movie. Right? It's
Yeah.
I love Anya Taylor.
those Oscar.
Yeah.
That what Skarsgård family.
Yep.
We were just talking.
Weird,
Yeah,
yeah,
we were
they're
talking.
just
Yep.
such a
That was
the
the
whole
last
family is just
episode,
full
yeah.
of
Yeah.
like talent.
That's what we said in the last episode. Yeah, for sure.
And then
So
and
nice.
then the chick from The Witch was in it, who is
Anya Taylor Joy.
yeah,
Yep.
she's but yeah, the visually it was like a great movie. There was a lot of like they brought, if you know anything about like Norse mythology and like all that Norse, like all that, they had like little symbolism in it that you were like, and then it's like, okay, now it's cool to see it on screen as opposed to just like trying to like imagine it.
Right.
So
Yep.
that was it. Those were like the only.
I played God of War, so I got it.
It's different. It's different. No, it's not the same.
We'll talk about that on the next hooking up. Don't worry.
Okay.
Okay, so now to get into the meat and potatoes of this episode, the crux of everything. this episode is going to focus on directors. Okay, so yeah. So if you need to bust out your phone so that you can refer to any
brought a
kind of list.
notepad.
He's got a notepad
Hell
because
yeah.
it's 1937.
Because I don't want to be on my phone and I have it all.
Wait, not 1938.
No, 1938. They were already figuring out what to do with
I made my own
electronics.
paper.
They had the iPhones.
They had iPhone 1938.
Yeah.
In
That's when the first
1938, I would have
iPhone
made
came
my
out.
own paper.
They were as big as rooms.
What is this?
They can
It's the iPad
they can
one.
teleport voices.
Right.
It's this. This was the iPad back then. All right, so would anybody like to start?
Are there rules?
I mean,
Because like,
so we're gonna try and relegate it to one director each.
okay,
Obviously, there's gonna be some overlay.
Oh my god.
Uh,
I wanted to talk about 3.
Yeah, I had.
I mean, I have
hey,
No,
like,
I'm-
a
but-
ton of them,
okay.
and I can narrow it down.
so
to like
so
3.
fuck that. We'll talk about however many directors we want,
So here,
but like you have to pick one,
okay.
one that's your even of the 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got to pick your favorite one of the 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
I'm
here's-
set.
But
Yep.
here.
Go.
So this is what I was like struggling with to come up with the list because directors are that's a tough job to have. You know, like aside from being the actor and all that, like you're tasked with visually creating
The story,
the
right.
story that's words into like an you know, right? So like I think like the big blockbuster directors, I think they should, in my opinion, without having to name them, should get their due.
Yeah,
Because
I mean,
it's like-
yeah, they're serving their purpose.
Right. Like they're there, right? Like I think overlaps we'll probably all, and just me just assuming because I'm just assuming, would be like the Steven Spielbergs, the Quentin Tarantinos,
Yeah.
the Martin Scorsese's, Coppola.
Well, let's not name all of them.
No, but those are like the big
No, yeah.
name,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that we all agree on that. Like those are,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but and then like I tried to attack it as like what's an underrated
That's
director that
exactly-
I
See,
Okay.
love?
to me, that's a different conversation, though.
It.
Like to me, okay. So
okay,
all right. So if you'll allow me to start,
Yeah.
Steven Spielberg to me is, in my mind, the greatest director because he's directed some of the best movies I've ever seen. Saving Private Ryan, like the Indiana Jones series.
Academy Award winners.
Yeah, like
a
major
lot.
Academy Award.
Schindler's List.
Schindler's List,
Yeah.
you
Yes.
know, like you're hard pressed to find a Steven Spielberg movie that you don't like.
AI.
More so than
AI.
But I mean out of like Jaws and Close Encounters of the Third Kind, E.T. like it's just there's so many things that you want to be like you said, that one's an obvious one. To me, that's
Right.
that's out of the park. You're gone.
Correct.
Same thing with Tarantino. Tarantino, like I think
His body of work.
yeah,
speaks
he'd be
for
my
itself.
number.
Yeah.
He'd be my number 2, I would think. From Reservoir Dogs onward, I'm not even talking about his writing. That's another story for another day. But just in regards to directorial style, I would say he's my number 2. Even Jackie Brown, I think, is a fucking phenomenal movie that
Loved it.
definitely
Yeah.
doesn't get enough credit.
Yep.
And he didn't write that movie, but I mean, he still did so like Kevin Smith should be up there because I love his work and I met him a few times. Real nice guy. But I have to give my number 3 spot, and the person I want to focus on most of those 3, which you can say is the most underrated of 3, is a director named Mike Flanagan. Relatively new on the scene. He did Dr. Sleep,
Mhm.
which
Okay.
to me was one of those like few directors are able to recapture the
Yeah.
emotions of
The original.
the original.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Stanley Kubrick set a bar at a place where it's like nobody's ever gonna fucking be able to get to that point.
Yeah.
Nobody's talking to you.
Oh no.
Yeah. Dr. Sleep was really good.
Yeah, but
That
Dr.
was-
Sleep fucking
That was a good sequel.
blew my fucking brain apart.
Yeah.
Kept the theme for The Shining in it. If you haven't seen Dr. Sleep, please check it out. He also did Gerald's Game, which we talked about on a previous episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That Oculus, which we also talked about
We
before.
did. We did.
I think that movie's fucking insanely good.
Yeah, I got to revisit that.
Yeah.
Ouija, Origin of Evil, which is the Ouija board movie, which you would think is just like it's a Ouija board. Like the first movie apparently was garbage, but Ouija Part 2, which was Origin of Evil, which I guess is the prequel, is rated as a much better movie than the actual first one.
Nice.
Okay.
And then Hush, which felt a lot like The Strangers.
Strangers. Okay.
Okay, like is Tamara home?
Oh,
That movie.
is that the there's like a she's like deaf?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. It's
And
not bad.
yeah, like he redid like The Haunting of Hill House and The Haunting of Bly Manor and all that
Yeah.
stuff. And
That was
And,
a good series.
yeah,
Yeah.
like to
I
me,
thought those are good.
this guy understands the balance of horror and drama in a way that works really, really well.
Yeah.
And to me, I'm really excited to see what projects he comes up with later on. Him and Jordan Peele to me are like the two guys that are like
Up
in
and coming.
terms of
Yeah.
like horror movies.
Yeah.
This is the
Their
era.
era.
Yeah, this is the era I want to focus on. Like in terms of that's how horror movies need to be made.
Yeah.
Not bullshit slasher jump scare shit in your face. Just
Truth.
there's got to be more to it. And the eye that they have for detail and the eye that they have for the characters, and you could tell that there's a lot of love and adoration in their focus of them makes him a phenomenal director. So that's mine. So I guess we'll just keep going this way as we did before. You want him to go?
Do you want me to? Okay.
Yeah,
No,
you
you
go
go
first
first.
because I want to make sure you guys get yours out. I don't want to overlap.
No, I mean, even if there's overlap, I mean, I like we said, we saw a lot of similar movies, but we came
Yeah.
out of completely different
Right.
perspectives.
Yep.
So
All right, so I had a tough time like preparing for this because because once I started going down first I would start off with like, oh, these are my favorite movies, and then and why do I like them and why do I like the director styles, and then it just evolved into like more, and I'm like, shit, I like this guy, no, I like
Right,
this guy,
right,
and
right.
I
Yeah,
like this guy, and I was like, fuck, and I just didn't want, like I said, like my fear was to sound redundant because like I know all of us have watched movies from like these major directors, and that's at some point those movies have inspired the love of watching movies.
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. And that's like, but then like, they influence other
Right.
directors, and it's like, oh, okay. And then you start developing your own taste. It's almost like, like with like music too. Right. So, for me, my big name, I guess would be Scorsese. Right.
Okay.
Scorsese's my big name. Like, the first movie that I ever watched was Goodfellas, and that's still the best mob movie out there, better than The
Absolutely.
Godfather. As I said it, that's an unpopular opinion, but that's my opinion. And
I'm gonna agree with you because
I say Godfather 2 is better than Part 1 anyway. So
yeah, I mean, I still think that Goodfellas is
Yeah.
still a better mob
Yeah.
movie because it was during the peak of like the mafia.
and
in
I
the
also
60s,
I also
you
think
know.
Bronx Tale is better than Goodfellas, but
Well,
I said it.
I
fucking said it.
disagree. I disagree. So
but call me C, Dad. No, I mean, I'm not taking shots. I was just
No, it's all right.
shut up, Calogero.
That's my big name one, right? Like, there's no doubt that that everything that he's done has always been like with
Yep.
the mafia and mafia.
I
movies.
concur.
Yeah, we all agree. Then I have.
Fucking notes.
I do have notes. I'm telling you, man, it was like a
I
thing
was
for me.
I was thinking
Dude.
of writing
I,
like notes because
am not as sharp as I was in like the young in my 20s. So
No,
I have
I'm
to
proud
write
of
shit
you.
down.
I'm proud of you for taking it seriously.
Mike,
No, he really is. He really is.
John McTiernan.
McTiernan?
Yeah.
McTiernan.
Yep.
Movies like, you ready?
Die Hard.
Yes.
Last
Yeah.
Action Hero.
We
Die
just
Hard
watched
1,
that, dude. We
Die
just
Hard 3.
we just yeah,
I can't with this fucking show today.
dude.
I'm telling you. Hold on, let me finish.
This is about the sixth parallel we've had today. Just in the past,
Well,
just in
you
the
know,
past,
bro.
40
It was a.
just in the past 40 minutes.
Yeah, these are ley lines.
I mean, it was. It's all like great minds.
Yep.
You know, it's the hive mentality. That's
Yep.
what it is.
Hive mind. Yep.
Yes,
Yeah.
right.
I
You know, the Die Hard 3, which Die Hard 3 is my favorite Die Hard of all the.
I loved
all the
it.
Die Hard. It's
Absolutely.
With the
greatest.
Yes.
I thought
the
I-
greatest
Yeah.
action movie, the last greatest action movie ever made in the fucking 90s.
Die Hard 3 was the perfect sequel to Die Hard.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's not even talk about 2. Can we not?
That's why he came back to do Die Hard 3 because Die Hard 2 was so fucking shitty.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So Die Hard, you know, I'm very
Yes.
passionate. Die Hard 3 is like the ultimate, in
Awesome.
my opinion, the last greatest action movie that was ever made with practical effects. Everything
Yep.
after that.
Yes.
Yep.
Maybe you'll find a couple sleeper movies, but the best of the best and
With
was Die Hard.
with
3.
a character was pretty much just a badass drunk cop.
Yeah.
Right, he was drunk, and then
You
and
can
then
just
they,
say cop
bad-
at that point.
and
We know
then
it's
yeah,
warning.
but then like yeah,
Reminds
and then
me of somebody.
and then like there was that brief moment where there was like a real weird racial undertone, and then they
I
just
know.
fucking addressed it like that.
I
like,
know,
and it was
quick.
like,
Dude.
thank you. That's it. That's all it is.
That's
right?
what-
That's all it is.
That's a great point.
you know,
that was
and
great.
You're like, oh,
It was relevant before it was relevant.
correct, right? There was.
I don't like
What?
you to
It had
get me
everything.
killed.
It
I
had-
love that fucking movie.
it had
What?
everything.
There's a white guy
What?
outside. I've seen him before.
And then, and my favorite, another Predator. Predator was
Yeah.
that whole.
Oh
that,
my God,
That
dude.
like set us that those were like catalysts for action movies for me because I'm a big action movie fan.
yeah.
Love
Oh,
action
dude.
movies.
I was talking
I
about
think it's a
Predator.
hard. It's a difficult genre
I got
to master and to do it
Yeah.
well.
To keep fresh.
Correct,
Yeah.
because anybody can make an action movie. Like Michael Bay can make a fucking action movie, but the story is trash,
Yep.
right? But to have like a great action movie with
Thank
a great
you.
storyline and great characters, that's a monumental task in my opinion.
You're pretty much saying
Yep.
everything on my mind. Everything on my.
Yeah.
You did say that was going to happen.
Yeah.
You did say that. Okay.
I told you two were going to get
And
along.
I
really
have two. I guess you could call them like, man, I have so many
well.
but-
Runner-ups.
Well,
Keep going. Just keep going.
okay.
You have 30 seconds left. I'm
No,
just
no,
kidding.
no,
I'm
no,
kidding.
no,
Don't
no,
tell me. Don't tell me. I'm like,
No,
"Oh."
that's not true.
So the next one would be Rob Zemeckis.
Okay.
Okay.
Rob
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Ghostbusters.
Back to the Future, Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump.
Yes. Death Becomes Her, Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like those are all like staples of our childhood watching
Yeah.
growing
Yeah.
up, right?
Yeah.
He was good at. He was like a Steven Spielberg light,
Yeah.
Yep.
right? And then they had like the same similar style, and that you could tell. But Back to the Future is Back to the Future.
Yep.
Indiana Jones is Indiana Jones, right?
Right.
Yeah, right.
There's untouchable movies to me.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Right.
And then my two, I guess I guess you could call them like my hipster picks, right?
You better
or
not
hipster
say
pick.
who. Go ahead. No, no.
I like this.
Okay.
It better not be the guy who
Hipster
did like the
picks.
Grand Budapest Hotel.
No.
I'm talking-
What's his face?
I fucking hate that fucking guy.
So these are my hipster picks, right? And then it's Guy Ritchie.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, is he a hipster?
Well,
Can
he's only had like what 5 major movies.
No,
he's
no,
had a
no.
few.
He's
He's
had
had
a
like
few.
a few blockbuster
He's had a
movies.
few.
Yeah.
But
See, I like where you're going with this, bro.
he's had
Yeah.
that's his
Yeah.
his British gangster movies are
Dude.
where they're at.
I don't
for
think
me.
I don't think he's hipster.
No, you don't
No.
think he's?
I
don't think so.
I think he's outlier in some ways.
He's Hollywood outlier. I'll
Right.
go
Right.
to say because
Yeah.
he doesn't follow the fold.
No,
No.
and like not many people have watched a lot of his movies.
the
right?
gentleman is fucking fantastic.
That's
Yeah.
one of my new favorite movies.
Can I add something? Yeah.
Go ahead,
No,
absolutely.
no,
No, go ahead, go ahead.
because that rock and roller.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bro,
Rock and roll.
Under-
you put me
that's-
on,
Yes.
and rock and roller, my new number one Guy Ritchie movie.
Yeah.
Because the gentleman was my top.
Yeah.
Yes.
Boxes and boxes and boxes of bush, boxes of bush, boxes of bush.
The toddlers,
Dude,
man.
when
They're so
when
good.
fucking when Colin Farrell's in the fucking shawarma shop and the fucking he's like I'm gonna wet you.
Yeah.
And then
I'm
he's
gonna-
like,
You're gonna wet your pants.
Yeah, and he's like yeah. So
Is that why you're wearing a track jacket?
no.
Coach.
What?
Coach. It's the coach. It's the coach. It's the coach.
But yes, Guy Ritchie would be I consider because when you have conversations with people that don't know about movies, or they think they know about movies, or have watched a repertoire of movies, right? Every time you bring up, well, like, oh, have you watched Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels? No. Right? I don't even know who made that movie, right? And then, or,
It breaks my heart when
Revolver. Like, that's another one.
I know.
Right? And then you're just like, oh, so
I know.
the Guy Ritchie, and then my last one, and I'm done. Right?
Man, we can do a whole episode on Guy Ritchie.
Yeah, we can. So I agree. But he does have like, even like shit like Sherlock Holmes wasn't even that bad. It was entertaining, right?
He's got to check his box though. You got to check the
He's
box.
got to make his money too.
He writes most of his own stuff.
Yes,
That's the thing.
Yeah, which is crazy that he's like a writer.
He's a magnificent writer.
Yeah.
I watched. There was a Joe Rogan episode where he was on there.
He was.
He was on Joe. It was like an old episode where he was on.
That's really good.
And just listening to him just fucking like talk like a normal person, you're just like, oh, holy shit. Okay, cool. Now I see why he writes the way he writes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you get a little insight of.
I gotta see it.
Yeah, it's a great episode.
Okay.
And then my last one, and I'll just leave it at that. And I'm pretty sure you're gonna know who it is. No, John Carpenter.
Okay.
Oh.
With the
Oh.
thing.
Yes.
I was
Dude,
No,
He's a-
the one movie,
dude,
bro,
he-
my favorite movie of all time. Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh, great.
That is my. I never get tired of that movie. Every time I feel shitty, I'll
Kim
put it on.
Cattrall.
Yes,
Yeah.
in her prime.
In her prime.
yes. There is
Yeah,
no
I
Chinese women
fucking-
with green eyes.
Oh my God.
Like me and a guy at work would always do this thing, like at each other just to be assholes.
But aside from his major Halloween, which is his biggest,
Right.
Halloween. But Big Trouble in Little China, he came in out of nowhere, and that's a cult. It's a cult classic. The Thing, another one.
The Thing, I literally watched the
Vampires.
whole thing on the Thing.
The whole thing.
Yeah, like a whole video about the Thing and who killed whom throughout the movie.
Yeah, and like the way they leave it on a cliffhanger too, you're just like, who? Well, is he? Is he not?
I love that movie.
That's a great. And then Vampires, They Live.
They Live.
They Live is it's like a fucking
Dude.
documentary.
Can I pause real quick?
Go right ahead. Interject.
Parallels again. I was just talking about They Live last night.
Really?
Look at them. They're everywhere. Because if I can get
By the way,
the nuts
the best
10 times.
the best fight scene ever.
I
Right?
know.
It's just two fucking
Dude,
dudes
who gets up?
throwing down in an alley.
Serious question. How do you get up after getting full force punched in the nuts 6 times?
angrily. Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Right, sorely with an ice pack.
Right. And then, what was the other one?
great
Prince
movie.
of Darkness. And then the
Oh,
Escape from
yeah.
New York in LA.
In
It's
LA.
like,
Yeah.
like, but for me, those are like defining styles that just
Yes.
are been in my head. Like, I'll watch them and I just like I'm rewatching them again. I'm like, man, I love this part, right?
Dude.
All right, I love this part.
Dude.
And then, but like, and then if I had to, newcomer would be Jordan Peele,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like I watched Up.
Nope.
Nope. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I said Up. Pendejo.
That's also
like the balloon movie.
That's also a good movie, man.
It's the
If I'm gonna
it's the bourbon. I'm sorry.
if I'm gonna watch a cartoon, it's probably gonna be Up.
Yeah, Up is good. Russell.
but I watched no, and I was thoroughly surprised.
Somebody please like edit the Up cover to have the
Nope.
alien from Nope in it, please.
I think we might be onto something. Is that the same core story?
Oh yeah, it could be. It could be like there. It could be
Actually,
all in
was-
the same universe.
It's just
But
so funny.
I'm gonna put my notepad away because I took fucking like too many. I was in the gym
Let me see it.
thinking, and like I was just
You're
like
gonna review?
I was like
Oh my
working
God.
out, and I'd be all like, and then I would
Yeah.
fucking write down again.
It's like the Grail Diary from Indiana Jones
Yeah.
3.
The penitent man.
There's 3 markers.
Yeah. Neil.
He chose wisely.
But yeah, those are my picks. I think those for me have been influential in like what would lead down to like me loving movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when I watch movies, I kind of just tend to like compare it to that,
Yep.
right? Because it's like, oh no, like they did this better or they did this better. I mean, almost to the point where I become snobbish with certain things, right? Because
Yeah.
I'll watch shit and I'll be like, no, like that was fucking corny.
I
Or
don't.
that was hokey.
I wouldn't be so quick to call it snobbish. I just think you've refined your
taste.
preference, your taste and
Right.
your
Yeah.
preference.
No. Okay. I'll take that. So
That's
make
what
me
it
feel
is.
better about myself. You
Yeah.
know. Thank you.
No,
I appreciate you.
it's just facts, bro. I mean,
Yeah. So those are my picks, and then
Nice job.
You know, thank
Nice
you.
picks.
I
that's good shit,
appreciate it.
man. See,
Yeah.
I'm glad we went that way because Guy Ritchie was one of my guys. So,
God damn it, man.
what? No,
I was gonna pick Guy
no.
Ritchie.
Please do what you got to do. Do what you got to do.
Yeah.
All right, Joe.
Okay.
So
You're
I
up.
feel like I stole your guys' thunder.
No,
brother. I,
I think
guarantee you did
that's
not.
I
You did
think
not.
that's a perfect like segue because it's hard to pick like a director.
Mm-hmm.
So you have your staples of like what's good and then who set the bar, and I would throw Christopher Nolan in
Oh, yeah.
that
Okay.
too because you kind of like no, and that's just kind of you know.
He's
I
another
think
one. Like
he
I
is
don't think
great.
there's a bad movie that he's made to me.
No, and he always I think what makes a really good director is that they don't fall into the traps of not typecasting, but kind of like memeing themselves into
Right.
a corner where
Like Michael Bay with Explosions.
yes.
Right, I
Or kind of treading that line, I think, is Tim Burton. Like you already know what to expect from a Tim Burton movie. They're good movies, but I think
Fucking Norman just jerked off over here. That's why
It's
we
all good.
motioned
We just
it.
got positive response from Storm and Norman
Well,
audience.
Well, you know that Tim Burton's gonna do the same
Yes,
thing, but
yeah.
he's just gonna do it differently.
he's gonna have Danny Elfman.
Shout out to
he's gonna
Jamie.
have,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I had a
like,
whole conversation about this on the way here about how Tim Burton's overrated.
yeah.
I think he's overrated as well, but it's just
Overrated.
Oh, sad
but,
face from Storm and Norman.
Yeah,
Stormy Norman now. Come on.
but he's still entertaining. Like I'll still watch a Tim Burton movie. You know,
Right.
it's just that I go in there with this expectation. Yeah, other directors they always reinvent themselves, and Steven Spielberg with the way that he directs certain movies based on the era of the movie that it's
Right.
in, and Minority Report had that futuristic
Right.
look. So
But the thing is, like, not to interject too
No.
much, but to me, there's similar styles, but like Catch Me If You Can doesn't feel
no, not at all.
like an Indiana Jones movie, doesn't feel like Jaws, doesn't
No.
feel like that. But
neither
They're-
does
they're-
Schindler's List.
right,
Yes,
but,
yeah.
but you can still tell if it's a Spielberg movie,
It's got
just like Christopher Nolan. Like
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan has a very distinct way of how he shoots things.
yeah,
But I mean, Inception is nothing like Memento, is nothing like
Yep.
The Prestige.
yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Go ahead.
No. That's exactly what I was getting to, which is, I was gonna talk about. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about Guy Ritchie. So that was,
Please do.
yeah, that was like the director that I chose. Like I was gonna like talk about him and Zack Snyder, and then the Coen brothers. And then the Coen brothers, I also selected these because they're the directors of the movies that I rewatch the most.
Right.
You know, I think Fargo is probably like one of the greatest movies, like ever. Like it's in the top 5, and it's one of those movies. Like if it's on and it's playing, like we're just gonna watch it.
Can I just
Yeah.
interject with
Yeah.
something? So, do you remember the black briefcase in Fargo?
Yes.
It's the same exact briefcase that carried the money in No Country for Old Men.
Really? I did not know that.
Useless
That's
fact.
crazy.
No shit.
Real life Coen brothers, baby.
I agree with you with the Coen brothers.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think I have them written down on my notes, but yeah, they're
Yeah.
they're just that dark humor too. Like they bring like
Yeah.
this dark element to it, like just like in the Big Lebowski, you know, like
Yep.
they have
Yep.
like
Yeah.
all
Exactly.
these like it's a funny
It's-
dorky movie,
But it's like a dark comedy.
right?
Yeah.
And then like they bring up nihilism on a regular basis, and then it's like, but yeah, it's that weird. It's just those fucking. They're just two brothers that are just
Yeah.
quirky.
Yep.
But they're smart. Like
Right.
the framing of certain shots just look amazing. Like and choosing to not have a score for No Country for Old Men
Yeah.
is fucking phenomenal.
Dude, I never noticed that.
It
That's
stressed me
crazy.
out.
Yeah.
in
There's
like
no
like a
music.
good
Yeah.
way. Like
Yeah,
I was like,
there's like
oh
no
my God.
music through the whole movie.
Like I'm freaking out
Yeah.
because
I gotta rewatch it to see it.
Yeah,
now,
and
to,
it
like,
adds
to-
that adds
and
like,
using Javier Bardem in that movie.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Oh,
Apparently he was changed after doing that movie because his character was so evil.
He's sick, man.
Yeah,
Just
Anton Chigurh is
Josh
was-
Brolin was in No
Yeah.
Country for Old
Yep.
Men too,
Yep.
right?
Josh
Yeah.
Brolin. Yep.
Yep.
Anton Chigurh is literally listed as the most realistic psychopath
Yes.
ever in a movie.
He was-
Like
wasn't he a Bond villain too?
yeah.
Yes. Yes. He was.
Yeah,
he was.
he was.
Yeah.
In one of the new ones.
Skyfall.
Skyfall, yes,
Yep.
correct.
But going
Yep.
even back to Christopher Nolan, like the fight scene betwixt Batman and Bane,
Yeah.
Twixt. Yeah.
also
Silent.
no music. So you get
God damn it! I'm gonna have
you
to
get
like,
the
go back and
intensity
watch this
of-
shit. Yeah.
of each blow of each
And
moment.
Oh my
I
God,
think
it
that
was-
should
yeah.
be an episode in itself, is like action scenes without scores, because and
Yeah.
then when they breathe in the score,
Yeah,
it's like holy shit.
like an Enter the Dragon.
Yeah, but then the flip
Yes.
side to that, like if you watch Interstellar,
Yeah.
Never seen it.
Beep, beep.
Oh, go fuck yourself.
What?
Yes.
The one fucking movie you've seen I
Holy
haven't
shit.
seen.
Yeah, but that's the flip side
Damn.
to that silent no, because Interstellar has one of the best scores
Yes.
in a movie. Like it got to the. I remember watching it in the theaters, and the movie was visually like really well made. Like just elements of directing, like framing,
Yeah.
and shots and shit like that. Like dorky shit that you catch on after watching so much.
Yeah.
You're like, oh god damn, that was so fucking
Yeah.
awesome.
No,
You know,
it was-
like,
yeah.
But
That movie
but the
does that.
Yeah, but that movie does do that. But there's the
Can you just watch where you point that thing? Appreciate it.
but the score.
Yeah.
I remember walking out of
Yeah.
that movie and I'm like, just want to listen to the score
Yes.
in the background when I'm driving somewhere or
Yep.
and even I mean like every now and then I'll just like, man, I don't know what to listen to and I just want to have background music.
Right.
I'll pick out the Interstellar
Yes.
score and
Dude.
it just fucking it
Yeah.
But that's like the flip side to like the shit
know-
that he
yeah.
like the,
Yeah,
that
the
he-
silent
yeah,
moment,
the
yeah.
silent moments in his movie.
Yep.
Which goes to show you that he has that range of like,
It's balanced. Yeah,
Right.
He finds
Yeah.
the balance.
Right.
Yep.
and he doesn't use every single element in every single movie,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
which is
Yeah, and then music in Tenet actually like made that movie like
Yeah,
so
yeah.
much better. So,
I love that movie. I know it. And I know it's like one of those like, what the fuck did I just watch? But I'm like, I don't know what I just watched. I'm gonna watch it all
I
over
gotta
again right
rewatch
now.
it
That was
again
so
because
fucking good.
that's
Yeah.
what that was my first initial like.
Yeah.
When you
I
go
don't know.
back and you can rewatch shit that's going on, and you're like, oh my god, that's from later on.
Yeah.
You're like that's
Yep.
one of those.
Is it like a memento? Where you
Kind
have
of,
to, like,
yeah.
watch it a
Yeah.
couple
it's
times.
yeah.
Okay.
So to watch a Christopher Nolan movie, you have to sort of subscribe to fringe science.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
that's a good point. No, yeah,
Because
you're right.
fringe science is pretty much you could call it science fiction if you want, but if you look, teleportation is not so far off in the future. But it actually derived from science fiction, from
Right,
Star
yeah.
Trek.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, flip phone started because of Star Trek.
that's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Damn.
I mean, geez, yeah. I mean, the cell phone nowadays is you can fly. If we had this cell phone in the 1960s, that could have powered the Saturn V rocket. Okay.
Yep.
It could have powered the entire Apollo mission. That's
Yeah.
the power of the computing that we have in our palms now, due to an idea that arrived from science fiction. So,
Correct.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
if you have that mindset, if you have that open mind, then you can you can go back and rewatch
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan movies. They have rewatchability, or you can just absorb yourself into the movie and say, I could totally see how this happens.
Right.
Yeah.
Like Inception,
Right.
for instance.
Yep.
I was 2 levels down in a dream just last night.
That's it. And then all the kicks.
The kicks, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's a real thing.
Yep.
Shit, you know.
But yeah, just with Guy Ritchie specifically, the 2 movies that I think are really underrated for him were the Man from U.N.C.L.E. and King Arthur.
Oh, yeah.
so-
I haven't watched Man from Uncle yet.
Yeah.
That's on my watch list. But I agree with you with King Arthur.
Yeah. King Arthur is a really good movie. I was never into Arthurian like legend or anything like that. You know, tidbits of here and there.
Right.
But his writing style and the direction that he put that movie towards, like with Charlie Hunnam and
Yep.
and his whole entire gang, you know, man, who
It
else
had
is
like the elements of a Guy Ritchie gangster
Yes,
film, like
yeah.
a crew of guys.
yes,
right.
yeah,
That and then
because it
one-
was Knights of the Round Table.
Exactly.
It's like,
right.
yeah,
But it was CGI heavy as well.
it
too.
was, yeah,
So it was a
yeah.
big, large blockbuster movie with Guy Ritchie directing it, which is,
Yeah.
but it was still a very I agree with
Yeah.
you. That
And-
I remember watching it and being all like, huh,
yeah,
that was actually pretty satisfying to
Yes.
watch. It wasn't like
Yeah.
a movie where I would just be like, fuck, I wasted my time watching this movie.
yep.
Yep.
No, it's really good. It's a really good hero's journey. If you take that sword and you call it the Master Sword, that's like a Legend of Zelda.
Yeah. That's
And-
exactly.
It's really good. Yeah, man, the music is good. Anyway, like yeah, so that movie I rewatched the shit out of like a lot. Like it's I don't know. I think I owe it to Guy Ritchie because it got like, you know, just
He got
like,
shit on pretty bad, yeah.
They shit on it. And it was a bad time for that movie to come out, I think. And it kept getting like bumped and pushed and whatever. So and everybody plays their part like really good in that movie.
Jude
Man,
Law's in it too.
who?
Jude Law's in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Man from Uncle. That's a really great movie.
Alicia Vikander.
Yes.
I'll watch anything that
Yeah.
Alicia Vikander's in.
Yep.
I saw the fucking Danish woman because Alicia Vikander's in it.
She's in the Danish woman? Oh, my God.
I just got
She's
hungry.
she's the Ex Machina
Yes.
actor, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think she pulls off a pretty good Tomb Raider. I think she's
Oh, yeah.
all right as
Oh, yeah, for
Lara
sure.
Croft. Yeah, Man from Uncle, that style in that movie, you forget that was made in a modern time. I think the only other stylish movie that I can kind of put that in line with is The Untouchables. Because everybody is so like just man, you're transported into that time.
Into that era.
Yes.
Because they're using the dialogue.
Yeah.
They're using the costumes that, you know,
Yes. Yeah.
the attire is of the era.
Yep.
The euphemisms, the interactions, the mannerisms.
Yeah.
Sold.
Yep.
We alluded to
Who directs
We-
Untouchables?
Brian De Palma.
yeah,
Oh,
we,
yeah.
we alluded to that earlier as well today
Wait,
Really?
Wait.
God
Wait,
damn.
did we?
Yeah.
Wait,
when
when?
we were talking about the Peacekeeper or whatever.
We did.
I'm like,
I was
I'm like,
here
that's
for
like beating
Flapjack.
somebody to death like a fucking like you're
Yes.
Al Capone at the table. I was like, what?
This is really crazy, dude.
This is the
like
weirdest
we
shit.
we talked about a lot of the things that we're talking about today. We touched on it one way or another.
Inadvertently, yeah.
Just today.
like
just today.
like 4 hours ago.
This
Because
is
it was meant to
the-
be. This is
the
the
Infinity
conversation.
Stones.
Yeah.
coming
I'm
together.
serious, man. This is I don't know.
It's getting
Yeah.
borderline eerie.
I
Yeah.
woke up this morning and I said today's gonna be a weird day. And it has been a weird
good.
day.
It's good.
But this is a good weird.
Yeah.
I mean, not like a finger up the ass kind of weird, but like good weird. You know what I'm saying? So
my
sorry,
game
bro.
of thumbs.
I didn't
No.
Game of thumbs. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't mean to be looking at you the whole time.
No.
I was saying that, but
A finger up the ass might be
Disregard
a
that.
good time though. I mean, we don't know.
You know, it depends on how much you pay for it, right?
no, I haven't been to Thailand. Okay, moving.
Yeah. Those two movies,
Awesome.
Guy Ritchie, he has his style, that gangster, you know, and then The Gentleman's good too. But with those two movies, I think like he's able to use his style, but then keep it fresh. Man from Uncle, he does everything like it from like the cutscene storytelling, all chopped up and then bringing it back and tying it up together. Like he does that like
Bring it on
probably
back.
the best in that movie. And
I didn't
You know,
see
he
it.
directed the Aladdin movie too, right?
yes,
Which is
and
crazy. To
Wait,
me.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah. The new Aladdin, the live action Aladdin, that was
Yeah.
Guy Ritchie who directed
You're
that.
kidding me.
No.
No, he
Saw
did
it in
that.
the theaters.
That's the only reason I went and saw it in the
like,
theaters, aside
yeah.
from my fiance loving that with the peanut. But I was just
Yeah.
like,
Okay.
Yeah,
But
and
it was-
I'm all
you
fucked
can
up
see
now.
you can see
I'm all
his
fucked up.
style in that. But the only thing with like Disney and Marvel, I believe that a lot of those directors might be like chained down to like certain
To the studio. And
Yeah.
studio, and then also like they have a bigger picture with like Marvel, so they
limitations. So
Yes.
it's not a passion project. It's not an art project. It's not a what they want to do. It's a dollar.
yeah.
But,
for
but
a dollar.
to be fair, they gave Taika Waititi a lot of lead room with Ragnarok.
Yeah.
and he knocked out Ragnarok really well.
He did.
But then with
He
Love and
overdid
Thunder,
it
they're
with
like,
Love
okay,
and Thunder.
you can have as much leeway
overdid
as
it.
you want for
Yeah.
Love and
Overdid
Thunder,
it.
and then that movie just
he got
sucked.
Yeah.
but he got a lot of backlash for that one.
Yeah,
and I don't think
as
a lot
well
of
as he should.
I agree with you. But what was the real deal? Was he pressured by the studio? Was it Disney that put him in a corner?
No, I think I think
or did
that
he
point,
just change?
like Disney's like, here, do what you want. You made Jojo Rabbit, that was a success. You made Thor Ragnarok, that was a success.
Yeah.
Go nuts.
Right.
We trust you.
And then
And then it
gave him
was-
too
Oh,
much
so
trust.
he
Yeah,
was. So
they
you.
should
So
not trust
so it
somebody
sounded
like
like he made something good. in
He
the
did
beginning.
he did what Marvel did in the 90s, which was take their properties and lend it to somebody that had a vision outside of what was represented in the comics. And at that point, the source material suffered because that wasn't taken into consideration. The director did what they wanted to
Which
do.
leads to
yeah.
great resets in the comic.
Well, he
book.
lost the original fan base. What
Right.
they were
Oh, yeah.
doing is going after a new market or something.
Right. So
And it,
at that point, you forego
I mean,
the
totally
people that
lost
made
me.
it
I
worth.
mean,
Yeah.
I'm not interested.
So anyway, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
No, that's cool. And what is it? Sherlock Holmes Game of Shadows. So and then this is debatable, I guess, whenever we talk about sequels, but I think that's probably one of the most perfect sequels. Guy Ritchie doesn't do sequels, but he does set up a lot of like kind of like franchises, because I'm still waiting for the real Rock and Roller.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the second rock and roller, because it ends with that.
Yes.
Like, you will see
Yeah.
fucking gorgeous
Wild
Georgia,
Bunch.
the Wild
Yeah.
Bunch, and Rock and Roller 2. And I'm like, every time I watch it, like a fucking idiot,
Yep.
I'll go on my phone and be like,
When's it coming out?
When's it coming out? And it's never coming out.
Yeah.
It's like the live action Akira. Like that shit's never gonna fucking happen.
Yeah.
oh man.
Um,
When it does though, what's up, man?
But the Sherlock Holmes, sorry, I didn't mean to cut
No,
you
no,
off.
no, no, no,
I
not
apologize.
at all,
No.
not at all.
It's I watched, because there was 3 of them, right? Or 2 of them.
Yeah.
They were very, very entertaining, and
Yeah, they're fun.
And it
Yeah.
made me want to watch the second one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And then because he did continue the story in a cliffhanger, like, well, now I know, now I need to know who Moriarty is.
Yes. Yeah.
And you're like, okay, so
And that's the thing, is like Moriarty is Sherlock Holmes' like equal. It's his arch nemesis.
Mm-hmm.
But part 1, yeah, it was entertaining. But part 2, I think really like it allowed like the seeds that were planted from part 1 to really just grow. And you see Moriarty for how badass he is.
Mm-hmm.
You see how he's got Sherlock Holmes on the ropes, like almost like
Yeah.
half the movie.
Yeah.
And then like it's just all the way until the end. I don't know. Have you guys seen it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen
Part 2.
Yeah.
I didn't see part 2.
All right.
But it's okay.
Sure. All right.
Carry on.
Well, so see now here's the there.
Oh. Oh, okay. All right. This is not due to drinking, by the way. This is situational. So contagion.
All I'm gonna say is that the first movie and then the second movie, Guy Ritchie really like kind of hammers down the whole Sherlock Holmes, like calculating how he's gonna fight and how he's gonna bust somebody up and this and that.
Went into depth.
Yes. But then at the very end of Game of Shadows, Moriarty does the same thing. So now they have this whole entire fight scene in their minds
Before it even happens.
while playing chess, not even moving the pieces. They're calling out the moves that they're making, and
Yeah.
then Sherlock Holmes checkmates them. And
That's kind of amazing, actually.
yeah, and they're having this fight like in their mind. It's just phenomenal scene.
See, I think that goes to how versatile Guy Ritchie can be too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and how well he knows like his source material, man. Like, cause
Yeah.
Sherlock Holmes, King Arthur, like all that shit, man, is so like saturated that it's easily you can easily fuck it up.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and I think that he did those two things like very good. There are with every director, there's a movie that I don't like. He made a Wrath of Man, which I thought was kind of like
That one was okay.
it
Wrath
was,
of Man is Guy
I
Ritchie.
agree. No, he's,
Yeah,
that-
yeah.
that-
No.
unfortunately,
yeah.
yeah.
No.
So
It was still. It was
a little bit.
Guy. I mean, it's Jason Statham's in it. You know,
Right.
That's
right.
like, what's the female that's always in the Tim Burton's movies?
Helena Bonham Carter.
Yeah, that's his
his
you know,
guy.
Yeah, that's his guy. So, but I mean, he does. It's a great storyline. It's the way. It's
Yeah.
a revenge. It's a revenge
Yeah,
flick.
Right.
and it's a very straightforward movie.
Yeah.
and I think it doesn't have any of the Guy Ritchie.
It's not
like,
Ritchie-esque.
Yeah, but I'm cool with that. You know, that's not why I didn't like it. I just thought like,
It kind of fizzled out for me.
yeah.
It was kind of. I was excited because it was a Guy Ritchie flick, right?
Yeah.
And I was just like, nah. But I don't know. I think he was kind of saving his nut for The Gentleman.
Yeah.
Because The Gentleman came out after
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So, like, I don't think he wanted to do...
Actually-
I mean, I think he might have been more calculated in Wrath of Man, which, in turn, is part of pretty much what the theme of the movie is, just being meticulous and calculated.
Yes.
and
Yeah.
just-
Yeah.
So...
Yep. So that could.
It may have been in
Fucking
between.
genius, this
it-
man.
Just angle
This-
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
It was probably just like an in between, just a money making project,
Yeah.
like a quickie,
Yep.
quickie, a Guy
Yeah.
Ritchie
Yeah,
quickie.
gotta
Yeah.
pay some bills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
You got to pay the bills so you can do the one that you want.
I think it was.
Got to eat your vegetables first,
Yep. Veggies first.
and then you eat the steak. Can't have your pudding. The interview. Anybody?
Yeah.
That's when he's trying to convince Seth Rogen to do the Kim Jong interview. It's like eating your vegetables. You gotta eat them first, and then you can have the steak. Give the people what they want, manja.
I wish I knew that reference.
No, it's another interview.
No, I'm just saying I've
Oh,
never
you
seen that
don't
movie.
know.
No, yeah. I've
Oh
never
my
seen
god,
it.
bro, put it on the list.
All right,
Yeah.
I'll put it
on the list.
Are you,
David Skylark.
Damn.
you got any more?
No, that's it. Yeah, just Guy Ritchie. Yeah, that's
your
all
guy.
I got. Yeah, that's my guy for now. I think that having a favorite director is like having like a favorite like
Pizza.
yeah, pizza.
You got to be in the mood.
Yep.
For certain slices.
Deep dish.
If you're in the mood
Yeah.
for deep dish,
Pan.
Yep.
Connie's.
Hawaiian.
Oh my
I love Hawaiian
Whoa,
pizza.
But
See what is
I'll
this?
say it.
Is this the first part where we're gonna disagree?
No,
You
I
know,
like Hawaiian pizza
It's
too.
a polarizing.
What?
Yeah, I said it. All right, so now you're left with
I have to be in the mood for it.
You're now left with Michael Bay,
Okay, hold on. Michael Bay, 13 hours. Awesome.
Wes Craven.
Lost my shit here.
You still have James Cameron.
Oh yeah, James Cameron.
Hold on. I got some surprises for you guys after
Okay.
you ganked on my shit. That's what
I came in hot. I'm sorry. I was so passionate.
You gotta
about
warn a motherfucker next
No,
time,
my
man.
bad, my
Seriously,
bad,
bro.
my bad.
You gotta pump them brakes. No, I'm kidding, man. You probably should have went off the whole list, man. Seriously, because I got some stuff.
Okay, cool.
So, going off what you said,
yeah.
I want to touch on something with director versatility. Okay.
Yep.
You guys nailed it. You guys talked about all the points that I was gonna try to touch on also. So we're covered there. We've mentioned directors that can not so necessarily change their style, but show the versatility.
Yeah.
Do some. They still have their signatures on the films, but they're doing something different, and that's why we keep coming back for more. That's why we remember their stuff. Okay. Important part to remember. I'm going to preface with this is that directors are just a piece of the puzzle. They're part of the working crew.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
The producers, the studios are kind of the bosses.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
The casting,
Right.
the
Yeah.
casting directors. And,
I mean, obviously, casting directors, the art directors, they're going to play implemental parts on how the director is actually able to do his job.
Yep.
But in the end, he's sort of more or less a worker bee,
Yeah.
right.
just like the actors.
Right.
Okay. I don't know if that, I don't want to paint them in a bad light or anything, but
Everyone's got a job to do.
Right.
That's what it boils down to. is-
but the producers and the studios, they come together with the actors sometimes and say, we want to get a director for this, or they pick the actors and that's how they make the product come out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But at the end, the director has like the final say in a scene.
A,
Yeah,
good- a
that's
good,
exactly right.
A good director will step in and be like, "Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
We're still doing
Right.
things.
And then-
Like I have a vision."
It's
Yeah.
hard. It's hard. I would not want to be a director, especially if like you're dealing with actors and actresses that are making a lot of money off
Yeah.
of a movie, right? And they have their ego, right? And then to humble them, that's a tough task.
Yeah.
I mean, you also have some directors where, like Jonah Hill, took the minimum possible salary just to be in Wolf of Wall Street.
right, right.
You know, some actors will take the minimum salary to be in a Quentin Tarantino movie.
Yeah.
And then
Right.
but that's what makes a good actor, or I mean, a good director, which is like, because good directors will stay from the inception of it to the fucking editing,
Yeah.
Right.
right?
Yeah,
And
their
that-
involvement
right.
actually makes a difference, especially
And it's like you do need a big brain in order for you to fucking like take the visual, right, and then make it into like that image that you want to portray.
Well, I mean, to prove your point, I mean, Edward Norton had a huge part in editing American History X with that director.
So the detriment of that director was fucking pissed.
That director, well, he was a director of commercials before he did that movie.
Right.
So that director was pissed, talked a lot of shit, but the movie came out well.
Yeah, it came out good. Yeah.
And I think it came out great because without Edward Norton, it would have been something else. And I don't know.
The problem is that ended up giving Edward Norton such a big head that now he does that with every movie. And like the directors are like, "Hey, do me a favor, Ed, sit the fuck down. I
Yeah.
got this."
Yeah,
Shut
I've
the
heard
fuck
that.
up,
I've
Ed.
heard that. He's a drama queen.
yeah.
Like
yeah, I
doing,
believe
Yeah,
it.
he's a diva.
I
Yeah.
believe it.
doing the score with Robert De Niro, numerous problems.
I mean, that's why he never
Damn.
came back as the
God,
Hulk.
that fucking movie too. That
Yeah.
The Hulk, another one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
he was in the Italian Job too,
Oh yeah.
but I hated him in the Italian.
Well, the
Job.
thing
was
is,
terrible.
The thing
He
is,
was terrible.
he didn't want to be in that movie so badly that he's like,
That's
I
right.
am not gonna act well in this on purpose, which makes every scene that he's in a spiteful like. That's why he has like a bad inflection with everything, but it makes you hate his character,
Right,
But,
yeah.
But at the same time, you're like, God damn! Even when this guy's pissed off, he's actually a pretty good fucking actor. You know,
Right.
It's-
Yeah.
So anyway, so I digress. Who
So-
you got? I'm anxious to hear who you got
Yeah, I
now
know.
because I'm you
The
got me on the edge
build-up.
of my fucking seat here.
Okay, so going into that, I'm gonna start with the Scott brothers. Tony Scott, obviously, God rest his soul. I for whatever reasons, he's not with us anymore, but I hate that fact because I love Tony Scott movies. But here we are with versatility. You watch a Tony Scott movie, you know what you're getting. He rarely changes. Okay.
Right.
I watched Deja Vu, or I watched Man on Fire, and I watched Deja Vu. Love Denzel, but I felt like I was watching kind of the same movie with a different story.
Right.
Damn.
But I like that so much that I like seeing how Tony Scott's changing up the story.
He
Yeah.
did Domino as well, right?
He did
Yeah.
Domino as well,
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
that
Karen.
fits right in there too.
Yep.
Like,
right?
Yeah.
But then you take his brother Ridley Scott, and you see a lot more versatility because Ridley Scott, I think, is probably, I don't know which one you want to call more artistic, because Tony Scott had his method with the moving cameras
Yeah.
and the old kind of
Yeah.
film. I forgot what it's called.
like the film grain was different.
The film-
and then
the
like
grain, the grain, yeah.
the coloring on it was
And
like
it- yeah.
Saturation.
The set, the saturation.
Did he
And then
do
there was a
Spy
lot of-
Game?
He did
Oh.
He did
Yeah.
Spy Game.
That's
and
great
the cut editing
the cut edit.
I love it.
I always noticed too that it was like a lot of his movies too showed like an outsider looking in, almost in a sense. You had that feeling that you were
voyeurism.
that you're like
Yes.
just privy to the
Right.
story. You're not watching it as the perspective of the character in the story.
Even in like Man on Fire, the use of subtitles in that movie is fucking phenomenal.
He puts the emotion in the subtitles.
Yeah. It's
Who-
really
who-
well
who
made.
does
Like
that?
like
Who
the
does that?
screen, like the word crawl for it, like it would just like move along
Yeah.
while
Yeah.
the person's
Yes.
talking,
Yeah.
so it's not
Yes.
just lingering on the bottom of the screen. Like
Exactly.
the words themselves were part of the story.
Yeah.
So that and like Quentin Tarantino, the opening sequence of Inglourious Bastards, when they're speaking French
Yeah.
or they're speaking French.
They started out.
Yeah, they started off in
yeah.
French and
Yeah.
then
Right.
and then it went into English.
But what's funny is when he's saying yes and no, every time they say yes, he switches between French and English, French and English, French and English, and it's like, whoa, why there's no reason for you to have written it like that besides the fact that you're Quentin Tarantino. But anyway, go
Yeah.
ahead.
No, it's absolutely true, and it adds character to the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
And
it's a small minutia. It's a small minute detail that film dorks like us appreciate
Yes.
and love
Absolutely.
because you're
Yep.
like, holy fuck, like that's
absolutely
right. Okay.
So
Yeah.
so going with that, we see that Tony Scott has recasted a lot of the same actors because they have a good working relationship.
Yep.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
Very little drama, and it makes for a good product.
Yeah.
So the studio says when the studio knows what they want, and they know that Tony Scott and Denzel can produce it, they get Tony and Denzel.
Right.
They know it's a package deal.
It's like Scorsese and DiCaprio.
Correct.
Yep.
Same thing. Actually, a great depiction of that is how in I don't know if you guys ever watch Entourage, but in Entourage,
I
Scorsese
did.
picks Vince Chase for that movie.
Yeah.
And had it, I forget if he chose him again for another movie, right? But either way,
I don't. It's been so long, but I remember
right?
the cameo that Scorsese made in
Yeah.
that show. Yeah.
But the point of that is just that the directors come to work just like the actors do, and they put it all together. And we see that in action with a lot of good movies. Well, in my example, I like Tony Scott and Ridley Scott.
Yeah.
And Ridley Scott, I mean, you want to talk about tonal change
Dude.
in between Alien and Prometheus.
Yes.
I mean, it's the same franchise, but they couldn't feel more different
Yep.
and still somehow similar.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And to me, that's a real testament of creativity. Where
Absolutely.
it's like I'm paying homage to my own work while also giving you something different.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
And,
Starkingly different.
Yeah.
and it's adaptation because despite the fact that Prometheus took place before Alien, way before, it was adapted for the new audience.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
The present audience.
But did H.R.R. Geiger pass
Yeah.
away?
H.R.
After-
Geiger
Passed away before Prometheus was made.
No,
Yeah.
no,
No.
He was there, because
I was just-
I'm that nerd that watched the making of Prometheus, and they brought HR.
So do I.
yeah.
I still watch.
Yeah.
I watch all that.
They
shit
brought
on TVs.
H.R. Geiger in to
Oh, okay.
approve the designs made for
Oh, damn.
the
Okay.
the
So
Wow.
they still
Shit.
paid an
the,
homage
the
to him.
bishop. Is it the bishop?
Yeah.
Xenomorph.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
With the white with the.
yeah.
But yeah, they brought him in just to approve of the design of the Elephant Man costume and stuff like that, just
Yeah.
to make sure that it matched his initial design for Alien.
And it was great because
Yeah.
I looked into the
Yeah,
whole making
I-
of it too, and
I love that. I think Prometheus is sorely underrated.
Yeah.
I wish the acting was better, but
Some of it's kind of misplaced, but
I mean, I kind of chalk it up as camp a little
Yeah.
bit.
it was a little campy
and
because
and
the dialogue could have been like way more
But I mean-
technical.
yeah.
but so was Alien. I mean, so was Alien had plenty of parts where like
Alien
It
was the original. Like it did have campy parts.
I
too.
guess that's true. Yeah.
You know, it didn't get like really.
It wasn't
it was
silly
until
or
Aliens
anything.
2
Yeah.
where it got a little bit more serious.
yeah.
Aliens.
Or Aliens, yeah, the second Aliens.
Yeah.
Thank you, Aliens. Game over, man. But I agree. Like and to me, it was a little bit. Prometheus was disappointing to me because of what I liked from the original.
Yeah.
Well, I think Alien Covenant was really disappointing.
It was
Well,
terrible.
yeah,
Alien
but
Covenant
that
was
was
not
a money grab. That
It
was
was
just
not
a-
it was not appropriate to follow Prometheus.
Yeah, that was one of those like, what the fuck? You killed Numi Rapace
I know.
off screen? Like,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
just
a money
frustrated
grab,
with that one.
We can
Frustrated.
put
But
that-
yeah,
Yeah.
that's all.
yeah, we'll talk about that another day.
Man, we gotta have
Like
a
most
bad
disappointing
movie.
sequels.
Don't look now.
You got to come back for that one.
Okay.
That could be who knows? Could be the next episode. So here we're getting to my I don't know. What you
Piece
call
de
it.
resistance.
Yeah.
Michael Mann
Yes.
from Chicago. You knew I was going to say that, right? You knew I was. Gonna,
I had a. I
You
had
knew
a-
I was gonna do it.
I had a hunch.
Okay.
Yeah.
You knew I was going to do it.
Yeah.
Look,
Right.
all right, start saying some movies.
Okay, let's
before
start
he-
with this. Let's start with Heat. We've all seen Heat. Caesar, bro. Let me tell you something, bro.
I'm walking away.
No, don't walk away yet. No,
I
listen.
love-
Walk away after I tell you this part. That Heat is not necessarily a sequel, but it takes off right where a previous Michael Mann wait a minute. It takes off where a previous Michael Mann movie leaves off.
It picks up where.
Picks up
Yeah,
where
yeah.
a previous Michael Mann movie leaves off.
Which is
Thief, 1981. Michael Mann. One of his first movies in the U.S.
I don't think you've seen.
never seen
And
it.
that's
Bro,
James Caan.
bro. See that motherfucker. See that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Okay? Let me tell you why. James Caan, the original Thief. The reason I say is because of Michael Mann. Let me explain. Let me tell you why. Thanks for asking. Michael Mann is a technician. Okay? He went. You guys are gonna have to check me on my info, but he studied in England. He also got a degree in Chicago. He went to England afterward, and then he made movies. When he makes a movie, he does so in-depth research. He spends anywhere from 1.5 to 3 years doing research before the movie's made to ensure
Really?
ensure that the technical aspects of each movie are correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have. Excuse my ignorance, right?
No.
Because
No.
I have to see his movie lineup.
Do it,
because
please.
Because,
Please do.
Wow, yeah.
You've
But I'm
seen-
listening to you. I'm
You've
listening
seen
to
no, please do because you've seen Michael Mann movies.
Yeah.
You probably just didn't know.
Yes, I have. Yes.
Last of the Mohicans.
Yes.
Obviously Heat. A recent one is Black Hat.
Collateral.
Collateral 2003. Miami Vice. Michael Mann wrote
Public
and
Enemies.
directed.
Public
Public
Enemies.
Enemies. Johnny Depp.
Sorry, I didn't mean
Holy
No,
shit.
absolutely no. But these are all movies that he did research on in the era, for the era, and adapts the character representations as such. Okay.
Right.
I can't get enough of it, and I can't stop talking about it because, dude, you watch Thief. I'm gonna tell you a scene, okay? Because I don't want to spoil it because I want you to watch it. And I want you to take in. If you've seen Heat, see Thief
Okay.
because
I will.
it prefaces what Heat is about. Actually, Thief does what Heat doesn't go into because Heat goes into depth on other aspects of their trade.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's so detailed. I'm just going to show you one scene where James Caan is clearing a house in 1981, and he's clearing a house like any tactician clearing a house in these days would do it. 2 hands on a pistol, clearing corners, that method. Because if you watch all the movies of that era of the early 80s, you won't
Nobody
see
does that shit.
you
man.
won't see any of that. I'm just talking about one aspect of detail. Let's not even talk about the details of an aspect of the operations in the rest of the movie. That's all I got.
Okay. I'm gonna have to
Do it.
I'm gonna watch it.
Michael Mann,
Yeah.
Me.
the technician.
Yeah.
So,
Thief is on the list.
so of the ones that you guys have brought up, who's your underrated number one? Like you said, like Spielberg.
That I
all
out
that
of
stuff. 'Cause-
the ones that we brought up, or
Yeah.
just other directors that are
No, other ones you brought up.
Man, that's a tough question.
Who do you guys got?
I gotta give mine to Tony Scott because I don't think he got an Academy Award. But you know, I have to say that and take it with a grain of salt. Actually, because getting an Academy Award is really a matter of politics.
Yeah.
It's a matter of Hollywood politics.
Because there's so many movies out that are way better than the commercial shit that they put up.
That's
on the
exactly
Oscars,
right.
you know?
Exactly right.
And it's like they'll never get their due because
They're not Hollywood politically
correct.
He got a
Correct.
primetime Emmy.
Man, let me look through my list.
Prime time Emmy? For what?
Episode of a TV show. I didn't see what it was. Yeah, I'm still gonna go with in regards to the ones that I brought up. One way or another, I still give it to Spielberg, because to me, if were it not for Spielberg, I mean, like you guys
As
mentioned before,
underrated?
not just. I think he's got
Because I think he's properly rated.
but I think
Good call.
I think
Yeah.
there's a
Because he's
cadre.
not overrated. But
Right.
he's
I think
right
there's a
there.
whole cadre of movies that he's made that don't get enough play, like
Yeah.
Minority Report.
Yeah.
You know,
Or
like
Ready Player One.
like
'Cause,
Ready
that's,
Player One.
That's a good fucking movie.
yeah. To
But
me,
I don't think he
but-
directed that.
yeah,
though.
he did.
He did?
Yeah.
It's
To,
good. It's good.
I
It's good. It's good.
I literally was gonna bring that movie in to give to Pete because he's never seen it.
What?
Kennedy.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I had the movie on my counter, and I'm like, oh, you got a Blu-ray player? He's like, no, who still has a Blu-ray player? So. But
That finger was intended for the window behind
again,
Norm.
Again, that's another. We just finished talking about Ready Player One, so it's,
I'm gonna go with, I'm thinking you're gonna agree with me and Guy Ritchie.
Okay.
I think he is underrated as far as
Yeah.
directing style, right? And then he definitely does show his range, right? Because didn't he make a movie with fucking Madonna too?
Yeah, she was in something. One
think
of his
he made
movies.
a-
he was.
I forgot which one.
I think he made a music video.
No, there was like a
he was
movie.
He
It was
was in
like,
a movie,
what the
or she was in a movie with him.
I mean, they were married for Christ's sake.
Right.
Yeah.
It was just. Anyway, yeah,
Yeah.
I think he's my underrated of the people that I brought up. I mean, I think there's other underrated directors,
I think.
but I think Guy Ritchie is.
I think he should get the nod at least for writing.
Yeah,
One day we'll talk about writers for sure.
yeah, for sure.
Because, jeez.
I think he wrote Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
Yes. Snatch.
Snatch, Rock and Roller.
The
The
Gentleman.
I think The Man from U.N.C.L.E. that was like a reboot though from a Charles
Yeah.
Bronson movie.
Yeah. Of the show in the 60s.
That was
Yeah.
What else did he write? Wrath of a Man. I think he wrote too. Maybe
I think that was an adapted movie from I think from like either a French movie or a French novel. But he
Yeah.
could have had some writing
I think
credits in it.
and then he shows his range where he made that the blockbuster Aladdin,
Yeah.
right, and like the Sherlock Holmes movies that were
Yes.
like
Right.
supposed to be like big block. No, you could almost say that they're movies without a soul, but he somehow
Gave themselves.
Yeah.
gave him
Gave
a
himself.
little
Yeah.
right.
Yep.
He put his flavor on there. And
Yeah,
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
And
That's
I
what
think
she said.
I think that's going to be my my pick as
Swept Away was the Madonna movie.
yes, that's yeah.
nice.
Yeah, that's my underrated pick.
I agree.
But the Scott brothers and the Michael Mann, those were completely under my radar.
Yeah,
bro.
Yeah, Ridley
I'm
Scott's
saying.
from medieval to like future.
Yeah.
Oh,
like
my God, dude.
he's
Yeah.
got fucking range,
Yes.
man.
He was
And
great.
and he's
and Gladiator and
Yes.
Yes.
Gladiator.
I forgot about
Yeah.
Gladiator. Man, I was obsessed with that fucking movie when I was
who
a young
did
kid.
American Gangster?
think that was Ridley Scott.
I think it may have been. But we're gonna need to look that up. Go ahead, guys.
But there's one person that I didn't bring up that I'm actually going to try and watch his movie this weekend that's just about to come out. And it's somebody who's had a lot of ups and downs. Ridley Scott, by the way, did American Gangster.
Yep.
He's had ups and
Good
downs,
shit,
and
man.
he's finally, I feel like, coming back up. And to me, for a while, he would have been my like up and coming, like he better become huge, and that's M. Night Shyamalan.
Oh
Yeah.
God, yeah.
Yep.
He just came out with something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and watch it on Sunday. The
What? Yeah.
knock on the cabin and knock on the door.
Yeah, and
Knock
that's
on
at
the
the that's at the theaters, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
And he's like, you want to talk about somebody who just had like full on
And then
upward
duds.
trajectory, and then I think Lady in the Water was his first dip, and then The Last Airbender, and then After Earth, and it was like, well, this guy's fucking done. And then he made Old, which was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because if you guys haven't seen Old, check that shit out.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's on HBO Max.
Dude, you got to can you remind me?
Yeah.
I got it.
Yep.
I got another director that kind of like
do it.
It's Jon Favreau.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I think he's another sleeper guy.
he was right there for me.
Yeah.
too,
Yeah.
He's like another one of those guys that's like he was in. I think he produced Swingers.
No, he directed and wrote and directed, wrote,
starred
starred in
Swingers and Made Men
and Made. Which we
We
talked
talked
about.
about.
And Chef.
That's right.
Chef,
Chef, which was a great.
Yeah.
But not only that,
Iron
dude,
Man,
Iron Man. He put fucking Marvel back on the spot.
Jungle Book.
Honor. I've never seen it.
It's phenomenal.
And then, not to mention everything that he's done with fucking The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
You know, like
Oh God, yeah.
I think he's like one of those guys too that has showed a great amount of range too, and like he's just a creative person that went from like, who is this guy, right, to all of a sudden like now he is one of the guys,
Right.
Correct.
for a specific task.
Yes.
Correct.
He was a nobody. I mean,
Right.
him and Vince Vaughn were in Rudy together.
Yeah, I
it's like-
forgot about that. Yeah, he
Were
was. Yeah, he was in Rudy.
Yeah, Rudy. The two of them are in Rudy.
Samwise.
Vin-
What?
Yeah, I know. Same.
Yeah, Vince Vaughn is the quarterback in Rudy, and Jon Favreau is like his best friend that he uses Rudy to pick up girls.
You're supposed to help me with this.
Damn,
So I mean, between that movie and then, like you said, Swingers, and then going to Made, and then they were in Couples. No, he wasn't in. Vince Vaughn, was he in Couples Retreat?
Mm-hmm.
Couples Retreat, and
Yeah.
then also
They
the
were-
breakup. Like that's
And 4 Christmases.
yeah.
It's
like
so
like
fucking
there's
good.
just
Yeah.
that's a friendship that you can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
but I think hopefully he's one of the younger directors in comparison to like all these other but like
Yeah, I want to see some of the.
I
want to
mean,
see some of his new shit.
I mean just what he did with the Mandalorian alone, because
great.
I have a love-hate relationship with the whole Star Wars. It's
we can make a whole episode
yeah,
about that. We
but,
really can.
But when I found, because I approached the Mandalorian without even knowing anything, and then when I realized that it was Jon Favreau who was in charge of, I was just like,
Yeah.
it's
in good hands.
It made me fall in love with that aspect of
Yes.
it, right? And it's like that's for somebody as cynical as me. For somebody to accomplish that is like a big compliment to him. I mean, I know he doesn't give a fuck, but it's a compliment.
We tip your hat to you, good sir.
Yep.
Our proverbial hats.
Yep.
Hat actual.
So I think if you guys have any directors that we missed that you'd like us to bring up in a
shit
future
ton.
episode,
Yeah.
I
mean,
I know a couple people.
there's 1,000 directors that we
yeah.
could have gone over, and I'm sure there's going to be plenty of people who are like, oh, you forgot this person, and we're not here to talk about every single director. There's not enough time in the fucking world. We appreciate good movies for what they are, but you guys got anything else?
No, that's it. Just to emphasize, these are favorite directors, but I mean, at any given moment, I think that's the beauty of it, is like depending on the genre or what you're looking for, there's a director for that style, and they all get their job done.
Great point. Great point.
And it's also the crew that they bring with production, their writers, their everybody, it is a huge fucking job.
And there's a lot of directors in the indie film genres
Oh yeah,
that are outstanding.
and there are wrong answers too. Like if you try to tell me that the director of fucking Weekend at Bernie's is amazing, you can go fuck yourself. I said it.
That's not very nice. I like the director from Weekend at Bernie's.
And there's plenty of stuff that
Or the director of the first Police Academy.
right, and that's not to say there aren't directors that are up and coming that we're not interested in. Like the director of Hereditary, who also did Midsummer, who's also doing this other movie that looks like it's really fucking crazy with Joaquin Phoenix.
That director actually looked at the psychology of fear in order to make the movie Hereditary.
Right, and it's
So-
there
is a psychology.
Yeah,
I mean,
there is.
obviously, but
the director of Witch is an up and coming
we've-
director
Eggers.
as well.
I mean, we've glanced
Yes.
over David Lynch too. David Lynch has a lot of fucking those weird,
Jesus,
I mean,
creepy
we talked
Mulholland
about
Drive,
we
you
talked
know,
about
like Blue Velvet,
David
but-
Lynch, like our first couple episodes, because we did a whole thing about Seven and stuff. So
yes.
trust me, they know that we love David Finch at this point. But
No, David Lynch.
Lynch, I'm sorry, David Finch, David Lynch. It's because I've had too many of these now. Caesar, do you have anything you want to plug?
No.
check out the other great shows. On the
Come watch me work out one day.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
take videos. He's on OnlyFans.
no,
No.
maybe.
For some reason, you said plug, and that's the only thing that comes to mind is OnlyFans.
Right. Check out all the other great shows on the OTN network. There's Adulting the Pod, Hooking Up. We're going to try and get another episode in very soon. There's this amazing show of Cool Flower Movies. What else, Norman? Drop the ball. What is it?
Who cares?
What is it?
Put the ball down.
Put the ball down. Put the ball down. Sorry.
Wait. What's that about?
Balls.
Sports?
Sports. Yeah, sports.
Sports.
And balls.
Is it the coaching? Is it about coaching and stuff or no?
Or is it about
More Taylor Swift words.
Okay.
Just sports.
Okay.
Norman, real quick, who's your favorite director?
Well, Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
We'll go the Scots.
Nice.
Tim
Oh.
Burton.
Oh yeah, we knew that one.
You know.
There's a spooge just in front of that. From that.
Yeah, I'll go with those.
Okay.
Cool.
So
Sorry.
A little spooky.
So Norman's wrong, but
What?
no, just kidding. Thank you guys so much for joining us for episode number 9 again. Hopefully it's 9.
Yeah, it is. It is.
9.5 with the Christmas bonus episode. I'm Adam Flores.
Michael Frias.
Joe.
And I'm Cesar Valdez. Thank you for having me, guys. I
Thank you for
appreciate
being
you guys.
here,
Had an
man.
Yeah.
awesome time. Thank you.
Come
Awesome.
again.
Yep.
Yes, I
Yes.
will. Thank you.
But not anybody's face.
no.
Watch some movies.
Oh yeah.